What is up, everybody? My name is Matty, and you're listening to the No Nerds Were Harmed podcast. This is a podcast about movies, comics, games, and all things nerdy. I am here with my co-host, Tyler.
What's up?
I am also here. We are here with our producer, Sam.
Hello.
Tyler, let everybody know what we got in store for them today.
We are getting into Prey, the new Predator movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Predator prequel, I guess.
Yep. That's what you'd call it.
So we have some nerd news for everybody. Tyler said we're going over Prey. We're going to have a small spoiler-free section. We're going to have our spoilers. We're going to have our read, play, watch, and we're going to let you guys know what's going on in the next episode. So we're going to get started here on the nerd news. What do you got, Tyler? What's first? I know we got a few of the same things.
Yeah, probably the thing that I'm most excited on my list is the announcement of Seth Rogen's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie, Mutant Mayhem, August 4th, 2023.
Yeah, he just announced this. I think it was on August 4th this year.
Yeah, it was literally like
1 year
in a year. Yeah, and he has the title is like a cool art, like feels
graffiti, right?
Yeah, it's like it's got that 80s like vibe to it, cartoon, and it's going to be a cartoon movie too. So
yeah, which is exciting because what? So this is the rights are still owned by Nickelodeon. Mm-hmm. So this has got to be a kid-friendly film.
Yeah, to some extent, I'm sure. Yeah,
and it's
I think the best TMNTs are like the animated movies and stuff like that too. So
yeah, the 2007 one was fucking fantastic.
I'm very excited, and I know he's been working on this for a while or been trying to pull this off. So he must be like a big turtle guy and really wanna. So
passion project for him.
I'm excited.
As Evan Goldberg, he's got his buddy Evan Goldberg back too. So I'm like, wow. I was talking to my buddy Dave about this because I said, or he was like, what kind of humor do you think is going to be in this movie that's coming from Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg? I was like, I don't know, man. I'm assuming we're not getting any dick jokes because
there'll be some dick jokes in there. But they'll be well hidden.
Because even the live action ones are kid friendly, but they still have some dark humor to them. So
no, I think he's not a bad person to execute this. Like I think this could be quite a good matchup with him and the Turtles. So I'm excited for it, and it's nice just to see the official, like, hey, it's coming out this date.
Yeah, August 4th, 2023 or 2024? 2023.
2023.
One more year.
A year from now, yeah. So relatively soon in a way. So, yeah, it'll be excited.
We'll keep everyone posted for sure on that. I'm going to go away from one of our bigger ones because I know we're going to talk about it. So Nicole Kidman, I'm sure this is coming as bad news for a lot of people who sit in the AMC theaters like Sam and myself.
Yeah.
That Nicole Kidman has picked up another year of being a spokesperson for AMC. So for at least for another year, we got to sit there and watch her dumb commercial of how AMC's a good place to get your heart broken at. But that's the thing, is
no matter where you go, you have that dumb dude who comes on the TV and talks to you about how magical your movie experience is going to be.
I enjoyed the Imagine one.
Oh, I hate that guy. Starfish pin guy? Oh, man, no.
Dude, I enjoy the Imagine one.
Oh, no. Not
it's quick.
Guy.
It's not, I feel like it doesn't...
Dude, his last one, he just, like, he tried to go, like, I'm super urban and cool, and, like, it was, like, a rap video, and, like, had all these extravagant
How do I not remember
dancers.
This?
It was because it did not last long, because I remember being like, there's no way everyone approved this, saying, like, oh, yeah, that's the best look for our
wow.
company. It wasn't, like, offensive. It just was, like, this dude's trying so hard to be,
awkward.
like, yeah, I want to be hip, and this is what the kids are going to like, and TikTok and all that
I feel
bullshit.
like I got to fucking Google.
Yeah, it definitely was not the starfish pin story. So it wasn't. Yeah, it was weird. But again, anywhere you go, they have those commercials. So I guess at least AMC has an award-winning actress doing it. You know,
True. Yeah, so we have one more year to look forward to that. At least one more year to look forward to that. Who knows what happens after that? What else you got?
An announcement of a movie remake. Did you see the remake in Roadhouse?
I did.
Yeah,
I
with
did
Jake
see this.
Gyllenhaal, supposedly.
I can't remember who they said is directing that. Can you look that up, Sam?
Sure can.
But yeah, it's interesting. It's one of those movies that, like, I grew up watching Roadhouse.
I've never seen it.
It's just one of those things, like, it reminds me of The Warriors in a way of, like, this movie...
Doug Liman?
Lyman?
Liman?
Yes, I know who did that. Oh, fuck. What else has he directed?
Let's see.
the thing with Roadhouse is it reminds me of a movie. Like it works because in the time it played, it's like about bar fights, and it's very, like 80s what it is.
Yeah.
And it's just like shit's not like that today, so you're either gonna have to like modernize it.
Edge of Tomorrow is the biggest one that we would know.
I like Edge of Tomorrow.
But
Born Identity.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I just don't know how it's going to play if they modernize it, and if they just put it back like in the past kind of thing. It's like
it'll play better.
Why? Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, why are we remaking this movie then?
True.
So it's just a weird choice. I'm guessing like everyone involved must really like it, or we're at that time where they're just scraping the barrel of like, what remakes haven't we done in a while? What could we do?
I'm sure it's a little bit of both. Yeah.
We'll see, but I just was like, oh shit, that's really a thing that's happening. Like, okay, interesting.
Yeah. I have 2 pieces of casting news.
Okay.
So we've all known that the Santa Claus series is going to be coming to Disney Plus. I believe it's supposed to be coming next year. And David Krumholtz is coming back. So Bernard, everyone's favorite elf.
Yeah.
And because that was something that when they announced this and they said, oh, everyone's coming back, he was the one that was not coming back yet. So I know I came home and I told Sam, because she was like,
I read that. I was like, yes.
Yeah, she was like, this is a make or break point. Like, if he's not in it, what the fuck am I even watching this for?
There's no release date yet. As of 6 days ago, it says.
Okay, so David Krumholtz is coming back. And then this, I'm sure you've heard, is that Ben Affleck has filmed the scene for Aquaman 2.
Yeah, I saw that shit too.
I heard that the original scene actually had Michael Keaton in it.
But since the Flash got fucking...
Well, not even that. There was the test screenings. They showed test screenings, and people were like, what the fuck is Michael Keaton doing here?
Well, the thing is technically, if you look at all when everything like was supposed to roll out, the timelines are all fucked up because of the Flash. So, like, before Aquaman 2 came out, the Flashpoint was already supposed to happen. So, in theory, we would know who the fuck Michael Keaton is. So, when it shows up in Aquaman, it'd be like, oh, it's Michael Keaton. Well... We all know famous Ezra and everything else that's going on with the Flash. Yep. So now that that's coming out after supposedly Aquaman, most fans are pointing to like, well, they were like, fuck, we have Batman in our movie and no one knows who this goddamn Batman is. We need to just now use Affleck instead of Keaton. It's just, again, it's like, how long are we gonna let the circus just run, dude? Like,
do you want to get into DC right now?
Let's just do it.
Let's get into DC Discovery.
Warner Brothers needs to take a breath.
Because it's just like, okay, so let's piggy right back into what we both are gonna talk about, which is Batgirl got fucking canceled.
Yeah, DC came out of nowhere and just decided they were rehauling and canceling shit.
So,
and the first thing they started with was, like you said, Batgirl. And
it's not just DC though. It's in general, all HBO products are pretty much being put on a hold. So HBO TV shows, so you're talking like your Barrys, all that original content, they're no longer doing it. So HBO was acquired, HBO, Warner Brothers, all that was acquired by Discovery. You know, so that and that happened, like a year ago or whatever, and everyone
fairly recent.
It's recent, but like this is where the change are starting to happen because there's Discovery Plus, now there's HBO Max. Now one company has 2 competing streaming apps. What are they going to do? They've decided, fuck it, we're axing HBO Max. So, like, when I say this, it's kind of a joke, but at the same time, like, if you're sitting on things you haven't seen on HBO Max yet, go watch them. Yeah. Because it's not a joke. Tomorrow, you can wake up and they go, hey, by the way, Sopranos, not a thing anymore on HBO. Like, this is the type of shit, and I don't even know if that's on HBO, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, well,
Game of Thrones, whatever the fuck. HBO tomorrow could be gone. And it's a real thing, and it's proof in how the lengths they're doing it with. You see what they're doing with just DC alone and Warner Brothers. You got Batgirl, which was damn near finished.
Yeah.
$100 million movie.
Scrapped.
Psych. See ya. Never gonna see the light of day. Gone. You have countless other projects.
The Scooby-Doo show or whatever movie
that
it was.
Are just, see ya. You're in the final project. We don't care how much money has been spent. We're stopping it.
Which is interesting because I like how they said that, we're going to pay closer attention to our quality and just not our quantity. So
they're finally, I think, realizing but at the same time too, it's like it took you this long and this many, like you put out the Suicide Squad and that wasn't a problem for anybody, know, like not the James Gunn one, but the original one where things started to really go south. It's like we needed to be making calls back then because you guys, but at the same time, it's like, I've wanted this for a long time. Yeah. I've wanted just it to blow up and implode. And it's like, people don't want to start having these conversations yet, but like, there's no guarantee we're ever seeing the Flash. There's no guarantee.
No, and that's what's interesting.
Aquaman's coming
and
out.
that's
Like
what's
everyone
interesting
acts
about-
like it's around the corner, and it is in a way. But I think the only thing you're guaranteed to see is Black Adam. Beyond that, I don't, because they're not going to fuck The Rock out of the 10-year project. It would be The Rock would cripple them in one like social media post.
Yeah,
it would he would have the entire
has a lot
world.
of power.
They're not going to do that to him. So Black Adam will come out. Nope, I have no doubt in my mind.
Well, I feel like Dwayne Johnson would, even if DC was like, we're not going to release it.
Yeah,
Dwayne will be like, we are, because I'm
that's what I'm
fucking
saying.
releasing it and I have the money to back it.
That's what I'm saying. So that's coming out. But other
I'm
than
going to make
that,
my own streaming service called The Rock. Just
other
for
than
this
that,
movie.
there's not guarantees for anything going forward, dude. Like, it's scary to think, but like, they could pull the plug on the Batman if they wanted to. Tomorrow.
And yeah, I texted you about this right away because I said, unfortunately, if we would have to lose the good things that DC has going on right now,
to
like,
right the ship,
like the Batman, or even the thing that we're going to get into in a minute here, the Joker 2.
Yep.
Like, if they had to pull the plug on these things to have a good fucking hard reset, it would almost be worth it. Like, I don't want to see DC go down the drain as long as it is. Batman. I fucking love Batman.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I would love to see the Batman too. I love everything they're doing with Pattinson, Batman, and Matt Reeves and all that shit. But if like we had to sacrifice that to like right the whole ship of DC and like
redo it,
start over,
hard
and this is,
reset button.
and like we get our actual Marvel type content, but in that DC world now. Like, that's a sacrifice that I'm cool with.
Yeah.
Unless they do it with the Batman. Like, if they have that
No,
as their...
it won't work.
I don't
You
want
don't
to
think so?
I don't want to see Superman in this fucking Batman. Matt Reeves did too good of a job for them to say, "Hey, now we're going to throw fucking Wonder Woman in there."
It's one of those things. Like,
No,
they
but for,
could
like,
start.
They could build up the Batman with that one at least because he's young.
Yeah, but
I don't
it's
know.
If they made just a Batman universe, I'd be cool with it. But I still don't want to see that either. I do want Damian Wayne though.
I was
but
gonna say,
that's another conversation.
It's one of those things like
Get some Nightwing. Everything.
if you're gonna restart everything, you cannot half-ass it. You have to restart everything. You can't take that worked or that worked, because if that was the thing, they'd be connecting Joker and the Batman right now.
Yeah,
and they're
would.
not. They're clearly
Which is good.
not.
Don't fucking do it. We don't want it.
I don't know. I am on the other side of the fence there. I think it'd be good to connect them. But,
I don't want them.
It's again, they have so many huge properties individually within the same umbrella, things that are working, things that aren't working, that it's just so convoluted and messy that like this was going to happen at some point, and finally it's happening.
Yeah.
So now it's just one of those things of like,
and it sucks.
who knows what's going to come, but this reminds you, like, film's a business, bro. Like, these are people making money and making decisions. Like, this isn't about you getting your next season of your TV show.
Yeah.
Like, these guys don't give a fuck. And that's part of the problem of DC. They don't have a Kevin Feige that's like, hey,
Passionate about
which is
it.
this is how the shit should go down. They don't have that.
Which is really nice, because I know that they did bring up that they used Kevin Feige as a reference. They said, we want to be more like Kevin Feige.
Yeah,
basically what they said.
Find someone that
which
knows
is
what they're
wonderful.
doing and not
it's
some
like
fucking suit. But
it's a nice acknowledgement that
They
somebody
need
from
James
DC
Gunn to start from the ground up.
that somebody from DC is like, you know what? We like what he's doing and we want to do that. So if we have to fucking take everything out in order to try to be somewhat like that, we're gonna do it.
yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
It sucks that they've filmed Batgirl in its entirety, and they were working on the post production of it all. It sucks.
Yeah,
and it's especially sucks that they've already axed that, but haven't said anything about the Flash, because that's the one thing that people are like, that's got to go.
That shit. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I would not be surprised if like within a month it's like, hey, the DCU is dead.
Yeah,
it's just we're pulling the plug. It's all done. Like, sorry, GG's, go home. But I mean, only time will tell. But moves are gonna happen fast. You're gonna wake up one morning and be like, "What? Like, is this really a thing?" And it's be like, "Yes, this is very real. That's gone now." I
wish DC the best. I know we both want the best for DC. Yeah. So like, way to go. If this is what they got to do, this is what they got to do.
Yeah, this is like, they fucked this up after this though. It's like they're never gonna recover from this. No. So it's just one of those things. It's like, you guys have better learn from your mistakes, because you guys are gonna kill the brand.
Let's get into some good news of DC. The new movie that's coming out, I just mentioned. Joker 2, Folia Due. I was interested to see this because Lady Gaga is the one that posted this. It wasn't even DC.
Yeah, Matt Reeves reposted it too. He posted it too.
So Lady Gaga posted this, I don't know, 15-second little thing. It was like the silhouette of Joaquin Phoenix's Joker dancing, and her character Lady Gaga, who announced that she will be playing Harley Quinn.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on board with this. The thing that makes me skeptic, I'm cool with seeing Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn. I don't know how I feel about Lady Gaga as Dr. Harleen Quinzel. I can't see her as a doctor.
You also haven't watched her more serious.
Like a psychiatrist type doctor for sure.
That's my only bugaboo, and that's it's just because I'm like, okay, I don't know how she's gonna do that, and that's where I'm a little skeptic. But I'm not shitting on it. I'm so open for this idea.
I think it'll work with the cast and like Joaquin Phoenix and what Todd Phillips is kind of doing. I think. It's going to help because there is going to be musical elements and there's going to be dancing and shit in this movie. There's for sure. Like, I still think people who think we're straight up getting like Sweeney Todd, like a musical, I think you're out of your mind.
I wouldn't be upset with that.
I mean, I think it's going to have a lot of musical parts, and there's going to be the argument of like, oh, this is a musical technically, but like, I don't think we're getting like Phantom of the Opera like that.
No, I think it's going to be a lot of shit that's in Arthur's head.
Correct.
We'll be seeing. And I'm cool with that. I mean, and if that's how we're going to be introduced into Dr. Harleen Quinzel, like she's diagnosing him or like seeing this shit, it'd be kind of cool.
Yeah,
because they've also said that this is going to be taking place in Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, mostly in Arkham.
And I'm like, that's cool too, because we haven't really seen anything like that.
And I think they said it like October 2024.
October 4th, 2024 is when they said. So that's something to look forward to. And hopefully it doesn't get fucking X'd.
Yeah, like I said, that's 2 years from now. That's a scary one. It's like, who knows, dude?
But yeah, that's the good news of DC right now.
Yep. So I have some news on the sports front, which I know you're not a sports guy, but
bring it on.
I'm sure there are. Bill Russell passed away, which Bill Russell he's an incredibly famous African-American basketball player that played for the Celtics. He's more like winning than Michael Jordan. He has 11 championships. He's 5-time MVP, 12-time All-Star. He was also a player and a coach at the same time. He coached the team when his team retired, and he won the championship. Damn. And while he did that, he was the first black coach to win an NBA championship. Let alone he was playing. He was also, So he's just like the dude, and he's known a lot for like civil rights and stuff like that. Like they wanted to put him into this one Hall of Fame, and he wouldn't go in until they put in the first like black basketball player first. Like he's taken a lot of stances as.
Also, he's old.
Oh yeah, he's very, very old. But he's always like been very feisty and very like outspoken of like. The right thing and being on the right side of history and all that. So it's like, he's like just a monumental type dude for the game of basketball and just like civil rights and stuff. So he passed away. So the whole like kind of NBA and everyone's kind of
mourning.
Yeah. Showing their respects and paying their dues because he just did a lot to change the game. So it's like if he's in the conversation right up there with like Michael, all of them, he's right up there. Bill Russell's.
Okay. Icon.
Yeah, exactly. So
rest in peace.
Yeah, same thing. He was like almost like 90 or something, so it wasn't anything crazy either. He's just very, very old, and he's like 7 feet tall. So like,
damn,
just I feel like taller, bigger dudes, you just never make it that longer.
Yeah,
it's harder to live when you're 7 feet tall. I imagine.
Well, lots of love to his family.
Yeah.
Trailers. There was a new trailer for Don't Worry, Darling.
I saw that.
Shit looks amazing.
It does look cool.
It looks.
This trailer was so much better.
Yeah, I'm excited.
This is like, I text you or I was talking to Sam about it. I said this is some Peel level fucking secrecy.
Yeah,
around
we'll
this.
see.
And I'm like, man, this is something that we've already discussed. We will be covering this in September when it comes out. So if anybody has seen the Don't Worry, Darling trailer, which is Olivia Wilde's directorial debut and Florence Pugh and Harry Styles in this movie. And
Chris Pine looks like he's the bad guy. So that's a different
really
kind of
cool,
look on him. So yeah,
really cool.
Yep.
That comes out September 23rd, so we'll have that episode out at the end of September. The other trailer was just a fun one. Me Time, the Netflix one with Kevin Hart and Mark Wahlberg. It looks funny. It just looks like a fun time.
Yeah, it's a movie. It looks like it's a movie. It's a movie. But I mean, whatever. Like, I'm sure they had a great time filming it. I'm sure everyone got paid and had a blast. But yeah, it looks like it's a doozy. Yeah, but who knows? Like, dude, fucking he put out a movie with a talking CGI teddy bear,
Yeah.
and it was hilarious. So you can't
that's
count it out yet.
That's coming on Netflix. That's August 28th. But if you guys have not seen that trailer, go check it out. It's called Me Time. It's comedy, but obviously it's a comedy because it's got fucking Kevin Hart in it. But that's what I got on that end.
Some video game stuff.
Yeah.
Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, the remake that they were doing, or the revamp of it all, was delayed indefinitely, which is just very sad for everybody because it's just Star Wars video games. They always fuck it up on their best ones. Like that's all anyone's been asking for is the remake of it.
Battlefront.
And, it's like a Battlefront in a way, but yeah, it's like what I was playing Knights of the Old Republic 2, but it's the original one.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And they've just been remaking it and just said no, never mind, pulled the plug again. And it's just if you're a gamer, you know the game, you like the game, and it's just like, of course, we're not going to get the one thing we've been asking for 20 years. So it's just sad. And then you actually texted me about this, which was on my list already, but Multiverses.
Yeah.
Which is, it's cool.
Tell me about it.
It's kind of like in a way, I'm kind of saying this loosely, but it's kind of like Super Smash Brothers in a way.
Okay.
So it's a fighting game with kind of your platforms, and you're trying to knock the dudes off the screen, off the zone. But it's the way they're doing it. It's just WB's like IP sharing of like anything that was in an IP kind of can be in this game. Kind of like how Super Smash is all Nintendo characters and shit like that. WB has Scooby-Doo and Shaggy, Batman, LeBron James because he was in Space Jam. So like anything that's WB can essentially show up in this fighting game. The difference about this game is it's free, which is cool. It's cross-platform on everything, which is cool. And the team makeup, it's like a team fighting game in a while because you kind of have characters that are support fighters and that are attack fighters. So like say, and I don't know if this is true, but like we'll just say like, okay, so you have Superman, right? Mm-hmm. And he's fighting and he's an attack guy, so he's throwing a bunch of punches and all that, and you go to fall off a ledge. Well, if you're using, I don't know, let's say, I don't know, like I said, I don't know if this is right, but let's say you're using like Shaggy. Shaggy's a support character. His ability is to like grab things far and pull them close. So you're fighting while you go to fall, your buddy on your team can grab you and save you.
Okay.
So it's like team chemistry of like fighting the other team. Okay. Instead of everyone just going like balls to the wall fighting. So it's kind of a cool game to play like with your friends and have like team comp setups. It's a little bit more than just like kill the guy. You have to think a little bit more into it. But it's decent. For a free game, it's not bad, I will say.
So I'll have to download it. Since I've gotten rid of fucking Disney Emoji Blitz, so I might as well get something else just to try it out.
Yeah, I don't know if it's on the phone. I don't know. Okay. You have to look if it's on the phone. I think it's just for everything else. Okay. I want to say. Because if that's on the phone, I'd be very surprised because it's pretty complex.
Yeah, I guess that would make any sense because...
But again, it's just... They want you to buy skins. You can buy, you can pay real money to buy alternate costumes to unlock other guys. You know what I mean? It's just, it's a WB cash grab for sure. But everyone's doing it, so you can't really hate on them. Disney's got like 3 games that are coming out next year. Like, so it's a thing that's happening. But for a free game, if you like that kind of like Super Smash Brothers and all that bullshit.
I love Smash Brothers.
It's not bad to play. It's fun in a way. So
it's not a phone game.
Yeah, I didn't think so. No. I would have been very
fucking
surprised.
WB. You got one guy right here who's willing to play it.
Yep. You download it on that computer, plug in a controller, bro.
Yeah, it says PlayStation 4 and 5, so we're one behind that.
Yeah. For the PC guys, the Amazing Spider-Man game is coming out August 12th, which everyone's very, very excited for. It came out for PlayStation 4.
Is this based off a movie?
No.
When I hear Amazing Spider-Man, I automatically
okay. It's just the Amazing Spider-Man.
Okay.
It's kind of like what my Batman games that I play, the Arkham games, they just made a Spider-Man version.
Okay.
And it's incredible. It's like the newest version of a Batman game we had. And I played through it on... I bought a PlayStation 4 for this when it first came out. That and God of War. I was like, I want to play those 2 games. And it's finally coming to PC because Sony's finally realizing they can't just keep all their rights because they'll get smoked. So it's a couple of years later, but a lot of people are excited because now a lot of people didn't go and get a PlayStation to play this. So, and what a lot of people are happy about too is that like hopefully this means like the second game that came out, the Miles Morales one, will be coming soon. And the new Wolverine game that's supposed to be PlayStation only that comes out next year, I think. They're hoping that'll just come to PC now. So now that they're starting to port things, it's...
Has there been Wolverine games before?
Yeah, there's been the Wolverine, the X-Men Origins Wolverine. You remember that movie?
Yeah.
Or like the bad Deadpool movie?
Yeah.
They made a video game for that movie. One of the best fucking games in the world. That's what's crazy. It's one, and you can look it up. I just saw a review. It's funny you bring it up. I just saw a review of a guy being like, one of the worst movies of all time with one of the best games of all time.
Oh, nice.
It's just an awesome, like, brutal Wolverine you're just going through. It's actually the first game I ever achievement hunted to 100%. It's a really fun game. You can't find it anywhere because the rights are, like, locked up. It's not just like an old game that you can buy anywhere else since it's a big IP like Wolverine. Once the rights ran out, they locked it up and vaulted it. So unless you have, like, the copy of it, you can't get it anywhere. Because I've looked many a times. I streamed the fuck out of that game, but can't get it. But yeah, well, I'm sure I'll have a big update on the Wolverine game when that comes, when we have more information on that. The last thing I have real quick is Sea of Thieves had its big new update, new season and all that, where they finally put it in that you can name your ships. So when you look through like a telescope and see an enemy ship, their name pops up and who it's captained by. So there's been quite a few funny boat names and things like that you're running across. And it's dumb. This game sucks so much that it took 4 years for them to do something they promised was going to be like day one. But it's finally a thing in the game. And
did you name a boat then?
Yeah, I have the Orca, which is from Jaws.
Okay.
Because you have to buy the boat to be able to name it, so it costs quite a bit of money to do it. And then my other boat is called the Booty Seeker.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's some.
I bet there's some great puns.
Yeah, we've run across some pretty good boats so far, but it's a dumb little thing, but it's a big update that everyone's
excited
out
for.
about.
Oh, yeah.
And it doesn't help the game none. It didn't make it a better game, but it just makes it a little bit more personable and exciting, I guess.
I mean, because if people can go there and see other people's boats and be like,
and it keeps stats and stuff too, so you can kind of like look up like how many missions you've complete with that boat, and it's almost like it's a character now that you have. And so in theory, if you became famous and always used that boat, like if you came across the seas, people may fear the Booty Seeker. You know what I mean? Like
I love it.
It's stupid,
good.
but
I like it. I hope there's a lot of memes or some shit that comes from this. This would be great.
So it's something new, and go sail the seas. They have Twitch drops going on this weekend. If you watch, you get free stuff in game. So.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
My streaming news. I have that. If you guys are interested, I Am Groot comes out on Disney Plus August 10th. So that's coming out in a few days.
Wow. That is soon.
August 10th. And I think it's just 5 episodes, and they're like mini episodes, like 7 minutes long. Something kind of like the Baymax show where it's just its own little thing. Yeah, it's just 5 episodes. And then they moved She-Hulk. She-Hulk was scheduled to be August 17th. They moved it a day back to August 18th. I'm not sure why. But I think it'll be, for me, mentally, I'm like, oh man, I got some cool shit to watch on a Thursday now instead of a Wednesday or a Friday. So it makes my Thursdays a little bit better because I'm going to watch it. It's something that I'll keep everybody updated on, but I'm excited for it. My last piece of nerd news is what's going to bring us into our topic. The main character of Prey, Amber Midthunder, she said she had no idea that she was auditioning for a Predator film. And I thought that this was fun because she said that she auditioned in February of 2020. So this was right before COVID hit. Because I think COVID came March
2020.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so she read for the director, who we'll get into is Dan Trachtenberg. And she said that the project just died because of COVID. And then out of nowhere, it came back. And at that point, she was just under the impression that it was just a character. She knew some story elements, and she just knew who the director was. But she had no idea that it was a Predator film. So she was like, all right, cool. This is just about a girl in a tribe who is hunting. That's it. She had no idea what she was hunting, or she would end up being hunting or hunted by in the film. So I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
That's how a lot of movies go out, especially like actors, and when they're like getting like no-name actors. Like if you saw some of the sides that I've gotten, you'd be like, what do you do with that? And you're like, I don't know, because they don't tell you where you're at. They don't tell you what the story. They don't give you any of that information, especially if it's something legit. Because they don't want it leaking and all that. Like,
oh man, they're making a new Predator.
Yeah, they don't want any of that. That's like anytime. I mean, and a lot of movies too. They'll send you like when I did the Scream 5 audition.
Yeah,
I got sides from the original Scream movie. Mm-hmm. So it's just scenes from the original Scream movie, but it wasn't even Scream 5 wasn't the title. It's just like you get a title. So then what happens is you think like, oh, what kind of fucking stupid audition is this? It's some movie called like Devil's End, and then your audition isn't even a scene they send you. It's a scene from another goddamn movie, and you're like, what are we doing here? And then 3 months later it comes out, oh no, JK, that's actually Scream 5. So that's like the tricky thing as an actor, to like take all your gigs seriously that you get.
Gotcha.
Because you get stuff that you're like, this is some B-rate movie they don't even have a script for, and then you realize like, oh no, they actually do have a script, but it's so big they don't want every asshole that they send an audition knowing what they have in their hands.
Yeah.
So that happens all the fucking time. So that doesn't shock me one bit to be like, oh yeah, by the way, it's the new Predator movie. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. I thought it was
it's
kind of
cool.
cool news.
It is cool. It also like the life of an actor, man. Just thinking you got a job, then it's gone, then out of nowhere 2 years later, it's like, oh hey, by the way, we're gonna do that again. Like, yeah, okay.
That's the end of our nerd news, guys. We're gonna move on to Prey. So Prey came out on August 5th, and it is directed by Dan Trachtenberg. In case you don't know that name, he directed 10 Cloverfield Lane. He directed an episode of Black Mirror, and he also did the pilot episode of The Boys.
Oh, interesting.
Prey right now has a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes, and then a fan score of 86%. Do these numbers shock you?
Yeah, they're high.
I think so as well.
They're high, but we're watching it. We watched it, and those numbers are off of it hasn't been out long.
Yes.
Give it a weekend and a week, that's gonna drop.
Yes. Do you fuck with this movie?
It's okay. It's good. It's okay. Predator movie. Yeah. For what it is, it's okay. Yeah.
I fuck with it, but I put it not the top.
No, it didn't break the mold. It didn't
Nope.
It's but again, it's a Predator. I went in this just like I go into like Godzilla movies. Like, you got to know what you're walking into somewhat.
Yeah.
And like, I got what I thought I was gonna get. It's a Predator movie. You know, I'm not looking for crazy monologues. No. This is some kind of beast versus humans. This is how this goes.
Like Tyler said, we just watched this movie today, and on August 5th, and we just watched the movie today, and this is our raw thoughts.
We literally
on this movie.
just finished it.
We finished this movie. We took a tiny little break, and then we just walked right in here. So, Sam, do you fuck with this movie? Did you like it?
I did. I thought it was interesting. Just, I think, spoiler free, because you could tell from the trailer. Just even the time period makes it different from the other ones.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed it, and it's not a very long movie.
No.
So it's a fun thing to just kind of like toss on and rewatch, so you can look over and be like, oh, look at that spine. You know, let's
look at that spine. Yeah, so I did enjoy this movie. Like I said, it wasn't like the best. They didn't reinvent the wheel or anything like that. There's something I did like about this movie. I just want to talk about the cinematographer. His name is Jeff Cutter, and he did mostly music videos. He did the cinematography for the movie Orphan. He did Gridiron Gangs, and then he also did the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. And I remember, I don't love the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, but I know the visuals of it were pretty good. So
and this movie looked good too.
Yeah, this movie looked really good.
It makes like North America look like, you know, it just highlighted what you think about when you think of like old country North America. Like,
I really liked
before everything was a Target.
Yeah,
Costco.
Yeah, just lots of green. Lots
really
of
liked
open plains kind of bullshit.
I really liked the high scenes looking down where you saw the fucking Predator like as invisible running through the wheat fields.
Yeah, they showed that in the trailer, and there's a lot of cool just like your Lord of the Ring moments of like them walking across shit to show like they're just tracking the land.
That they're literally in the middle of nowhere to us.
Yeah, and he would do it with like cool aerial shots, or like it would be morning and then cut to night to show they've been walking all day. Like that kind of shit was really, really well done. It looked really nice.
I liked it a lot. I think that Jeff Cutter did a very good job on this.
I think those shots would have rang really nice on a big screen. Like that's
like we can address that. We can address that right now. That this
like the desert in Nope. It would have been
it's a big open. Now is this a movie you needed to see in theaters? No. But I think a couple of these shots to give you that grand feel of
that aesthetic would
where you're at would be pretty cool.
Yeah. For people who don't know, we did mention that Prey came out August 5th. This is a movie that's exclusively on Hulu right now. It did not
free.
come out in theaters.
If you have Hulu, you can watch it.
Yeah, so it was not released in theaters. It did have a few showings,
a few different premieres,
but nothing wide. The description of this movie is that a Comanche warrior has to protect her village from a highly evolved predator that hunts humans for sport. Yeah. And it's the best description there is for this movie, because that's exactly what happens. Mm-hmm. I do have a spoiler-free review. Here we go. The best since the original Predator? Maybe. Dan Trachtenberg breathes new life into the Predator franchise with this prequel installment by not spending too much time on the Predator lore and having a keen eye for suspense and for the Comanche heritage. The Predator is badass and has a cool prehistoric look to him, with new gadgets as well. Amber Midthunder as Naru was good. That's all I have to say about her. She was good. The gore was intense, and so was the action. The effects looked good as long as it wasn't on a CGI animal. And the worst part about this movie was the Comanche dub. This is not my favorite or my second favorite, but I suggest that you all see it if you're a fan of the Predator franchise. That's what I got. That's my spoiler free. On that note, let's talk about this Comanche dub, because I know that we're gonna get into talking about this movie right now. If you guys don't want to be spoiled, click off right now, because we're gonna talk about the storyline. Or if you guys want to hear our favorite talking points about this movie, then stick around. But we're gonna talk about the Comanche dub for this movie, because this was something that I was very excited about, and I know you and I both talked about this because we were excited that a filmmaker was doing something that was genuine.
Yeah, the way it seemed and like what I read about it and how it was portrayed to me was like, you can, like Squid Game. You can watch Squid Game in Korea, in the Korean language, yep, how they actually shot it, or you can watch the Netflix American version where it's dubbed in English. That's kind of what I thought we were getting here. We were wrong.
Yeah.
Like, they made this movie for English white people with just acting in English and all of that, and the Comanche, which is cool because it's that original native tongue, but that's what's dubbed.
Yeah.
So it doesn't match
anything. Yeah, so it's one of those things where we thought we were doing the astute thing, the pure, how it was intended thing, but in a way they didn't really intend it to do that, because they shot it all in English.
Yeah,
so
they shot it all in English, and then
it doesn't work as well.
There's a part of me that wished I would just turn on the English version.
We should have watched the English version.
I think that by the time we realized it, because
we were too far in,
it got us, especially once we got to the part with the French language thing too.
Well, that we got into.
Then we were really hold on.
So for people who haven't watched it, or people who did watch it, they get into an area where there's French people,
which is a cool kind of twist actually to throw in with the timeline.
Settlers are coming.
There's a French colony there, and they take Naru, our main character, and they capture her.
But they're all speaking French.
They all speak French,
and the fucking subtitles are all in French.
Yeah.
So you're like, is this because we're watching the Comanche version?
Yeah.
Or is it because it's the English version? Which we checked the English version, and it's also in French. So it is supposed to be just you don't really know what the fuck they're saying.
Yeah,
out of touch.
Which is cool, because they're putting you into Naru's shoes.
Correct.
Of like, okay, she doesn't know what the fuck they're saying, and neither do we. So
correct.
So unless you're French, or you speak French, you're the only one that's gonna know what the fuck these people are saying.
With all the other dubbing that was going on, we were all like, "What the fuck is going on?"
I'm like, all I got was that he said, "Oh, it's a girl."
Yeah,
that's it. My French ended
there's
there.
Like, they have a conversation in French.
I heard,
it's not like they're just oui. Like, no, they have a full blown like conversation where you're like, should we know what the fuck these guys are talking about? Like,
I didn't hear any of the typicals.
I think Idiot Savage was the only thing that I got.
Yeah, correct. But again, that's that's the point. They're supposed to. You didn't know what she was saying. She just was picking up, from there and their body language and all that. That's fine. But like, it was very confusing, and it's the first time I've watched like a true, watch it in the original language type thing.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really that. It was just a dubbed original language version, which doesn't play with the people when you watch it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because the acting was good.
Yeah, it was fucking solid.
The acting was good, but it's just like there's a few cool lines that were said that we read that I could tell, damn, in English that would have slapped. Like a couple of the brother things, like the things that the brother was saying and all that. It's like you could tell by the English words coming out of his mouth, and we were hearing, the Comanche dialogue, but it was like damn, that's one of those, like, let them fight moments. You know what I mean? It's like, you just need to hear how it was delivered for it to hit, and we kind of got robbed of that because we were thinking we were doing the right thing by watching. Basically, this is a long way to say, like, as much as I do love respecting the OGs and all that, like, watch this fucking thing in English.
Yeah.
Watch it in English.
They just didn't go about it the right way.
It's going to play a lot better if you watch it in English.
Which Dan Trachtenberg did a good job. The directing is great. But this decision to do this while it's honoring the Comanche
it's
tribe,
definitely cool. It's one of those things, like, if he would have filmed it all like that.
If you can't do it with people who still speak the native language,
apocalyptic.
Don't do it.
Like Mel Gibson walked in there and was like, oh, we're going to just film the normal language and all that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, it's not a lot of tribesmen walking around being like, oh, hello there. Like, that's not how that went down. And that's why when you read it, it's like, oh, shit, this is crazy. I don't know. It's just it wasn't something that I was excited for that just didn't pay off at all.
Yeah, that element of it was not executed very well.
Which I get. I mean, realistically, it is a dying language, but then just don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. I don't know.
So we are not going to be doing a scene by scene because, like I said, we just watched this, so we walked right in here.
Yeah,
so
we didn't
have
like a ton of notes.
No,
really.
I have some notes here from the movie, but I don't have a ton of notes. I want to address that this movie takes place in 1719. It's kind of a cool thing.
In the northern plains, so like America.
Yep.
This takes place 300 years before 1979's Predator movie, which is fucking cool. Mm-hmm. Which is, I mean, we're talking spoilers here. You know, these predators got their ass whooped by Nauru, and it took them 300 years to come back and try to do some shit with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, and that's what's cool about the Predator in general, too, is he's a prehistoric predator. Like, that's what's cool. Like, he still has alien tech. Like, he still has tech that is beyond our things, but, like, instead of having laser shots, he has fucking, like, super guided missiles.
He's still prehistoric.
So yeah,
in
it's
his
like
time.
He still has his laser things, but his helmet's like more made out of like a bone or something.
Yeah.
Like it's all his
like
gadgets.
Nope,
all his gadgets were like the cool gadgets he has, but they were like primitive versions of his gadgets, which I loved. Like it was like okay,
that was cool.
This is an old school, and like when he gets demasked and you see the actual predator face, he's a clearly different like predator.
Yes.
Like it's like like it's a different. You know,
they're just like us. Like I haven't.
You have not evolved yet.
Like I haven't met somebody who's like a hardcore fucking Predator fan.
Yeah.
But I know Sam, in her line of work, she said she met a kid years ago. I don't know if you remember telling me this story. There was a kid that came into one of your offices at the eye doctor's, and he had like 4 or 5 different Predator toys with him, and he knew like all their fucking names. This was a child. He knew all their names. They all look different. They're
not just
like
one
us.
Predator. They're
He's like, which one do you want to dress up as? I'm like, fuck, I can't decide. They're all so cool.
Yeah, they're a race. They're just like they're a tribe of people that.
And they make it clear in this one because in most of the movies, the Predator somewhat looks the same. They look very similar to each other.
Yeah.
And this one is a very different face.
Yeah, there's only a couple Predators that kind of. It's like the T-Rex from Jurassic Park. Like, there's the one Predator that has the certain scarring on his helmet that you know, like, oh, that's the dude from this movie and that movie.
Yeah.
And there's that kind of shit going on. But, yeah, this is just, like, a straight-up, like, 300 years earlier, this was one of the Predators that got dropped off. Because this Predator movie is like any other Predator movie where the plot is simple as in... Homeboy's dropped off on Earth and it's like, I'm going hunting.
Yeah.
You know? And I know that this is one of the things that you didn't necessarily like, and I didn't either. Usually in the Predator movies, they do show like the ship just coming in or falling from the sky and all that. Like even I just watched the original Predator and prep for this, and it starts with them in space and like a meteor coming and hitting like the Earth to show like, and you don't know what the fuck it is, but right away when you look back on it, it's like, oh, this starts with the Predator coming to Earth.
Yeah.
This same shit, like the ship flies in out of nowhere and then scoots off, which is kind of cheesy looking. Like all of the CGI that was done on like a sky type background, I felt looked really bad.
Yeah.
But again, I get that's very expensive and hard to do. And we just saw Jordan Peele do it where it looked real. So we're doing like that comparison, and this is a Hulu movie that's not. I wouldn't imagine it's got the same budget. I could be totally wrong. Who fucking knows? To be honest,
they're building teepees and shit. So probably not.
Yeah, like I don't know. It just looks corny, but it is cool because like all of a sudden,
expensive right now.
you know, you're that classic clone type invisible predator thing just hits
that,
the
like,
ground
sheen.
and stands up, and you're like, oh shit, he got dropped off. He's here.
Yeah, and that part was cool.
He's
I
here to hunt,
like
and it's
the introduction of the predator. I just didn't like that they showed the ship.
And I agree. The ship's just kind of, it's like, oh, okay.
Like, I wouldn't mind the part where she sees just, like, the blip in the sky. Mm-hmm. Like, that part, I was like, okay.
Yeah, because that was actually a cool transition where they show the title. So she looks up and she sees something out of there, and it keeps panning up to the gray sky, and then it goes prey.
And then it comes down, and it's on an eagle that starts like
it was a really cool transition.
Her and her brother talking about hunting,
and that was all I needed to see. I didn't need to see
which we connected to. Like,
I didn't need to see I didn't need to see the drop off of the predator.
Yeah, I just feel like it's one of those things.
They showed us twice. They showed us the ship twice. I'm like, why did it come back the second time? I don't understand it.
Yeah.
It was kind of weird.
Well, especially knowing, like, this isn't the first Predator movie. We know what we're watching. You don't.
Well, that's the thing.
We don't need the ship drop off.
That's the thing is, like, if you've seen any Predator movie, pretty much, I tip my cap to them not having to shove the fucking point of their movies down your throat. Mm-hmm. They very much quickly and hit it and move off of it, and you're like, you get it or you don't. Of like, these predators are just kind of, they show up on your planet and they're there to hunt other predators because they want to be top dog.
Yep.
That's how it was in the first one with Arnold Schwarzenegger in the 80s, and that's how everyone's been ever since then, is just them.
They're just proving they're
showing up, and they want to become the apex predator on whatever planet that they're getting dropped off on.
Yeah,
and that's the thing is, threats. Like, you guys got to realize, like, they're not trying to bring an end to mankind and humankind. They're not trying to dominate Earth. They are in a sense of hunting status, but like these dudes traveled the galaxy and are hunting everything. That's why
they're not trying to blow up
Alien
Earth,
vs Predator worked, because they were like, oh, there's another super predator out there. We want to hunt that thing. Like, it makes sense. And this is just the same thing, except we're in the 1700s, so no one is fucking Googling when's the last Aztec sighting and all that. Everyone's just like, oh, there's something out there that's bigger than a mountain lion, which was the biggest thing around us before that's going to kill us.
It's not a bear.
It's not a bear. Yeah. This is something new. This is a big, big predator.
Yeah, and that's why I said that in my spoiler free about like how, you know, he hits it well because he's not going into the lure of the predator. Like,
all they say is like the tribe.
Like you said, we can't Google this
all they
shit.
say is like the tribe speaks of a monster that comes or whatever. You know what I mean? So like, there's just that classic like the fucking caveman drawing on the wall of like, oh, people have heard about this thing, and there's a legend about something or that.
But we don't know what it is.
Because when she sees him and goes to the tribe and is like, yo, I've seen the alien thing. They're all like,
it's not a bear.
It's a story. You know, they're all, oh, you have stories that fill your head. You're listening to the tribe stories and all that shit. So it's that classic, like, there's stories of this thing, but no proof. And, you know, when it shows up, has there been others that have shown before it? Yeah. They don't get into all that because you really don't. It comes down to, like, him and the tribe, like, who's gonna survive?
Hold on, let me go check my cave wall to see if there's...
Yeah, like, that's what's the great thing about fucking putting that shit back in the... Before all that, it's because it's like, they don't give a fuck.
Yeah, it was a really cool time setting. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
That scene, I will say, like, I know we're skipping ahead, but...
It doesn't matter. Okay. This is how the movie's very linear.
With you saying,
the
like...
hunt starts and just goes.
True. I mean, you're just a nonstop...
It's essentially like 2 or 3 days that we're watching this.
It's just
it is short.
Hunt.
But I like, there's something so satisfying about when they're like, oh, it's just a story, and like they're just fighting and whooping each other's ass. Like, no, you're coming back to camp, and she's like, no, you need to fucking listen. And then the thing shows up and kills them all, and it's just like, I told you so. Yep. It's not just a story. It was a very satisfying scene.
It was cool. I really like the scene. So you see the mouse eat the ant off of the invisible predator's leg.
Fucking food chain.
And then the snake eats the mouse.
Yes.
Yep.
And then the predator fucking kills the snake.
Dope as fuck. And
it was real
skins
fucking cool.
It in like one fucking... Like, that's the coolest thing about Predator is they were like, oh, we have a terrifying element because our dude not only, like, decapitates people, he likes to rip the skulls attached to spines out of things. Like, this has been the thing since the beginning.
This is the serial killer element.
This is, like, everyone knows that's what Predator does, is holds up. He's like the scorpion after the fatality scene. He holds up the head with the spine dingling off of it. Like, it's trophies. They are obsessed with trophies.
This is my taxidermy.
And he fucking is just like, okay, we're going to start off with the closest predator I can find, which is a snake, which is the smallest one of the movie. Mm-hmm. And he fucking cuts its head off and just guts the thing and rips the spine off of it. And it's like, oh, these guys, this is what they do. It doesn't matter what they're hunting. They will always be cutting heads off and taking skulls. And then he moves on to a wolf later on.
Keeps getting bigger.
The rabbit is getting chased by this wolf, and he just fucking takes down this wolf, which is like, what the fuck? Which was really cool. One of my favorite parts of the movie was he goes back to his cave after he kills the wolf, and he has the wolf head.
Yeah.
And he hits it with this like technology acid thing. It's something from the future. But it just instantly decomposes all of, like, the fur, flesh, and blood on the skull to leave it, like, a perfect skull. And he just hooks it onto his belt because that's what they do.
Like it's a fucking carabiner, like, bam.
It's just so cool. Like, he has this little ointment that he just sprays on, and it's, like, super decomposer that just gets rid of all the shit, so he has his trophy ready to go within the matter of seconds. It's like, of course, these are, like, alien hunter tech. Like, yeah, why not, dude? This. So cool, dude. Like,
it was real cool.
But it's like that's what's cool about this whole movie is it's just like it's very like Mad Max Fury Road of like, yo, this is about the food chain. This is about apex predators. Like, this is just point A to point B. We know where we're going. Yeah. Like, there's not much in it.
They did a great job with, like, in this movie, because it's 17, 19, showing the animals knowing he's there, like, sensing, even though he's got, like, his clothing on. Like, even the first one, the snake, like, senses and starts rattling. Like, I know something's there. The wolf, once it got closer,
they're using their instincts.
Yes, like, I like that it shows you those animal instincts.
Yeah, and what's cool too is they do a good job of showing, like, the Comanche tribe and all them, like, when they're hunting these things, it's for food. They're using all their resources and all of that shit. And then the predator comes in and he's just taking trophies. Like, he's hunting for sport.
Yes.
Which is much like we run into the French. Through the movie, you find, like, these dead buffalo and shit that have been skinned. So,
which is horrible. Which is
bad because, like, because again, it's like a buffalo can feed you for a month, right? It's
they
like
use every single.
Correct. So they're just literally, she's coming across these buffalo that have just been skinned and all the meat and everything's there. So it's like, and you see a cigar there. So you're like, oh. It's the white man. You know what I mean? Like, they're fucking everything up.
White
men
are dangerous.
Yeah, dude. So, of course, you do find out it's the white men. You come across these French travelers that are fucking drinking and boisterous and just wearing all these ridiculous amounts of fur and all that. And you know, like, oh, they're just fucking killing these buffalo for no reason. And the predator, so it's like the predator and man are the way in the same, because the predator now is only hunting things and killing for sport, but he's also like, he's kind of just taking out the big bad of each situation and moving on because he's proving something. He's not like, he doesn't go at like they make a point. There's a couple times where she's like caught in a bear trap and all. Like, yeah, people are getting caught in bear traps left and right in this movie. It's like, okay,
it's like 3 or 4 times.
It's like, Jesus Christ, dude. But anyways, like, the predator's not trying to hunt you if you're impaired. Like, it's that idea of, like, he wants the challenge. He has to prove that he can take you. Wow, it's kind of foreshadowing. The brother says when she says she wants to go on her trial hunt to become a hunter, a true hunter, her brother says, like, are you prepared?
That was my next note, yeah.
Are you prepared to hunt something that's hunting you? Like, and he's talking about mountain lions, because that's their big thing that they, like, seem to be most threatened by, are these mountain lions, other than bears and shit, but they're just like, yeah, bears are bears, but mountain lions are like these killer predator things. So that's what they're talking about, but literally it's the predator's in the same situation where he's trying. They don't explain this lore, but you can figure it out really quickly, and if you've seen the other ones, you know that, like, these predators are tested by their tribe. Basically, they have to go collect skulls and all this to prove that they are hunters, and that's how they get a lot of their gear and shit. Some in Predator lore, like, some guys don't get that laser thing until you make X kills and all that. Like, you have to earn all that fucking shit that you get. Yeah, in a way, you kind of have to earn all that. So, like, that's what these guys are about. So it's cool to see the Comanches, like, respecting everything, because it's about the hunt, but it's about respecting the hunt because it's what forces them to survive, and it's the circle of life. Then you have the Predator, who's the apex predator, just trying to be the most dominant force in nature. And then you have White Man, who's just like the evil one in the sense of, like, just hunting for sport, but not even to be the apex predator, but it's because you can. You know what I mean? So then now all of a sudden the French white guys are the bad guys. The Predator is like the bad guy, but also, like, he's just the unstoppable force.
trying to figure out his place in the food chain.
It's almost like you take these guys out.
And then you have her, who's been told your entire life you can only be a hunter, you can only be a gatherer, you're not meant to be a hunter, wanting to prove she can actually hunt the thing that no one else can hunt.
Yeah,
So it's this
really
little
cool.
love triangle of apex predators and hunting and stuff. It is a cool kind of situation. I don't know. It's something a little more interesting than just like, oh, predators versus all the humans.
Yeah.
And with it being the French guys, and in the the French and Indian War was 1750, like 4 or something. So like this is all like a precursor to, because they say like, oh, there's a bigger disturbance on the horizon and all that kind of bullshit. Because she has like a pistol that she gets from the one guys and learns how to like use a white man's like gun, you know what I mean, versus like bow and arrow and what they were using.
I'll get to that pistol at the end of the thing too.
But it's that whole idea of like, dude, that's the 7 Years' War, the French and Indians War. That thing went on for 7 years, and all of that crazy shit that goes from that. So it's all just setting up like the foreshadow of the true predators that were lurking in their lands, not just the ones from fucking outer space.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. Like you had mentioned it, that they, our main character Naru, she wants to do a trial,
which is basically their definition of trial is that she's going to go out and do her first hunt and do her first kill on her own and just prove herself to everybody. And that I love that they kind of set it up the same way with this predator, and you can see that this predator gets his ass whooped throughout.
Yeah,
he's
learning. He's
learning just like she does, and just like everybody else has to in their tribe. And I thought that was a wonderful fucking piece. I really like the scene where Naru first sees the predator. So this is where she's running away from this bear, and she's in this beaver dam, and she's hiding from this bear, and the bear starts coming in there and trying to get her. We don't see the predator coming over there to kill this bear, but you just see the bear, just lifeless body, just stops. Or
you see him get pulled back.
Yeah, you see him getting pulled back, and the fucking predator lifts this bear up, and the blood from the bear is just fucking dripping all over the predator.
Well, before
he's invisible. It's really cool.
Before that, he fucking fights the bear hand to hand.
Yeah. He's like punching bears.
The bear's like about to break through this like beaver dam she's like got herself in to kind of protect him, and the mouth's getting closer and closer, and he gets just like yanked back, and she like opens her eyes, and the predator's there in camo form, like standing there in a silhouette. And the bear goes to attack him, and he just fucking tackles the bear. It's a great way to show you how big the predator is.
Yeah.
Because the bear stands up on its hind legs like bears do, and it goes to swing at him, and the predator just fucking tackles him.
Blocks his
and
punch,
gets on top of
basically.
him. And it's like, oh shit, this dude's the size of a fucking bear. Like, and he's just throwing this bear around like it's a little kid. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's a good way to be like, okay, how big he is and how strong he is. Like, but then, he basically fucking kills this bear, lifts him up, and the gutted bear is just
showers him,
raining blood on his camouflage that just like is starting to silhouette him out as like this person, which is it's badass. It's like, yes, this is the predator. Like, this is what this dude does.
This is what we want to see too. We want to see this motherfucker.
Correct, just showered in blood.
We want to see him be a predator.
Yeah, he is the apex, dude. Like, let him do his thing, and he does, and it's cool.
We jump ahead because we jumped around a little bit just about the French people and how they took Naru. So it was a really cool scene where Naru and her brother are tied to this I don't even know what the hell it is, a tree basically.
Yeah,
tree.
Yeah, the thing that's weird is the forest with all just the shit floating around in it, because like he even like taps his like mask and the shit like kind of like.
Yeah, it's
came
like
off. It's like ash or snow.
Sam said, but it can't be snow because they're not prepared.
I said either that or it's pollen.
I mean, the French are wearing the
They could
fur.
be in the mountains, dude, because it's just North America. They don't say where in North. Like, this is
in one shot. Like, as she's going deeper into the forest, there is a mountain shot.
Yeah,
so I mean, that is true. If you go into one of those, you could get snow.
Flagstaff, Arizona,
So
middle of the desert. You can get snow randomly at any time. It can just start snowing in Flagstaff. I've been there when it happens. So
We'll say it's
I'll
snowing.
buy it. We'll buy it.
So,
but yeah, it is a cool.
In the scene, they're tied together, and
the Frenchman cut the brother across the chest.
Yeah,
which is a cool, like, I thought, shout out to the first Predator movie. That's my favorite scene.
Oh, okay.
Fucking Billy, when they're like, "What are you doing?" and he's like fucking attracting this fucking thing, and he slices his chest to like put
He
blood
thinks
in
it,
the
like,
water.
smells
Yeah,
blood, yeah.
exactly. Like just and I felt like that it was very like, oh, okay. And it's cool when they tie him up basically as like bait.
Bait, yeah.
Like the hunt. These guys think they're the top hunters, and they have this.
They're gonna lure the predator.
They've
in,
heard
yeah.
about this predator type
Yeah.
thing or whatever, and they want to
Lure it in.
catch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're completely fucking wrong because now that they're defenseless and tied to a tree, the predator's like, I don't want them.
Correct.
I want the challenge, which is awesome because you see throughout this movie, like he'll completely, and he does it in the original as well because I can't remember the name of the character, the girl that Arnold Schwarzenegger takes.
Yeah, the chick from the village.
Because she doesn't have the gun, the predator completely just ignores her.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about that. He wants the challenge. He wants Dutch.
Well, he's only going for predators.
Yeah, so he's going after all these people, but while everybody's dying, all these French people are dying, which this is a badass scene.
He just fucks everybody up, dude.
Fights, it's really fucking cool. And he's got these new gadgets, or not new gadgets, but
the
To us, they're
fucking
new.
mesh the
mesh grenade thing.
that throws
I don't know.
like so they throw this like rope mesh net thing on him. And it just does nothing because he's the goddamn predator, and he's just like one arming, throwing 300-pound dudes into trees and shit. It's just like, yeah, dope. We saw him wrestle a bear. We know what he's gonna do to a human, and then he throws one of his own nets back at a guy, and his net is attached to like this grenade thing, and his net's made out of like razor, like industrial type wire, and it just starts compressing back into like sucking in. So it basically just takes the dude and just like cuts him into a million pieces.
Yeah.
Just shreds him.
It's almost like the
it's
Resident
insane.
Evil scene where with the fucking lasers.
With the
where it
lasers,
just
that's
cuts
exactly
cubes
what it
into
is.
them, like,
it's exactly what it is, but they don't show you that. They show you the tree he's like connected to, and they show the tree just getting like smashed. So you know what it's doing to his body, which is genius
cool,
filmmaking.
yeah.
But it's like that kind of gadget. He's got a fucking like shield that pops out of his arm that also doubles as like super sharp everywhere else.
Yeah.
So he's just like cutting dudes' heads off left and right.
That was
It's
cool.
almost like a saw blade. It looks like when it opens.
He
up.
has
It was
his
real cool when he
famous,
cut. It cut through the fucking. It cut through the guy's head and it cut through the tree limb. It was pretty badass.
He stops it and it like hits his arms out and he just does like the Wolverine, like then hits the button and the fucking shield shoots out and takes the dude's head off in the tree.
It's badass.
He's got his classic javelin, which he always has like a javelin of some sorts that he throws through people and uses as like a spear. That again, like most movies, he breaks in half and now he has two like sword things, and he has his the classic dots. He has his little thing, but instead of it being like, usually it shoots like lasers and shit. But in this one, it shoots like these heat-seeking
Arrows.
but they're made of like metal, so they don't look like they're primitive arrows.
and they're
But again,
reusable too, which is pretty cool.
They're primitive to him, but it's light years advanced to the humans.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's what's really cool about this movie. It's like his tech is awesome.
And that was something that I was
tech,
worried
but
about because you're like, man, you know, how do these Native Americans how are they even gonna stand a fucking chance against this predator? And it's because his shit is primitive too now.
Yeah, like even he has these heat-seeking missiles, but they're very like the tech in them is very basic, whereas like it's easy to get around these things.
Yeah.
Not easy, but it's all his stuff is kind of equal to their kind of tech in a way where it's not like him nowadays other than having the heat-seeking.
Plus them just being primitive for that time period. They're so resourceful.
Correct.
Like, they think
Correct.
of everything, you know.
Correct.
Like
it's
this
like
is-
look what it took Arnold to be like. The more human tech you have, the more downfall you have. That was
Yes.
the whole Predator point in
Yeah,
the first movie.
true.
Like he had to beat him with a fucking flaming arrow and covered in goddamn mud. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
how he took out the Predator at the end.
And the sharp sticks
This whole
that would
movie
fall on him and shit
This
like
whole
that. A log.
movie is that thing. You know. So
Interesting. I didn't even thought about that.
yeah. So it's really cool. Like I said, it's cool how he's very advanced, but also very primitive at the same time. And his gadgets reflected that with still feeling new, too, because we all kind of know what Predator shit is.
Yeah.
what it
but
normally looks
it's
like.
nice
Yeah.
to see something different.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
If it was gonna be the same predator, we'd have been like, okay, well, we know
Correct.
where this is going.
Yep.
I liked the reaction too, like when he had those discs that started floating, like all the Native Americans, just their look on their face, because like I think that's when I made that comment that I'm like, to them that's like looking into the face of God. They're like, what? Like these people don't have light
And
bulbs, they have
they're
no
like
plumbing, they
essentially
have
like mines
nothing.
that just fucking
Float and
flew up, yeah.
explode. Like mind blowing.
Yeah, it's cool.
So one of the reasons why I brought up this scene, we got sidetracked.
Yeah,
I got sidetracked from it too. So Naru's brother says the line, "If it bleeds, we can kill it."
That's a line that I was like, if I was watching the American version,
Yeah.
that line would have slapped, dude. Like,
Yes.
you could tell he's just tied to a tree. Everyone knows. And the whole movie's set up where her brother's like the apex hunter. He's the nice guy.
Yeah.
So, like, you just kind of know, like,
A sacrifice of some kind.
this dude's not going to make it to the end. There's no
No.
fucking way. So it's just like that point is where you're like, he's cut from the chest and he's like, we can fucking kill this thing. It's like, oh,
Your time.
damn, that
has
would have
come
hit,
to an
man.
end.
Like, it still
It
hit.
wasn't.
It
It wasn't
still-
that scene, but it was still fucking cool.
Correct.
Yeah. So we do talk about
funny.
the French people just getting fucked up. Yeah. If it bleeds, we can kill it.
Yep.
We'll
so
have to
Naru,
rewatch this in English.
Yeah.
so yeah, we will. Naru goes to save her dog from the fucking French.
Camp.
Their camp.
Her dog's been a badass the whole movie.
Yeah,
by the way.
he
like
has.
he's just the ultimate scout dog. She says one thing to it, it disappears, and then goes and gets
fetch.
whatever the fuck it
Yeah,
needs.
the
Like
fetch.
she just has this thing's the ultimate hunter dog. Like
Man's best friend.
It's your buddy,
yeah,
man.
for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Naru goes to go get her fucking dog, and her brother's like, I'm gonna go get a horse. So they split up for a second, and she makes her way back to the camp to get the dog. And there's this really cool scene when she gets to camp, and she's got to be very quiet because there's people around who weren't there.
There's
to-
like French
Yeah,
guys that aren't out hunting at the moment.
And this scene is really cool because I love that it was shot in one shot, and she just annihilates all these guys.
There's like 3 or 4
and it's a,
dudes
it's a
she
good
fights
it's a
with.
good fight too. It's not like because she gets hit, she gets knocked over, which is what I love. Like
It's all hand-to-hand, like,
not to
knife
sound sexist,
fighting
but
over
I
knives
love
and
to see
shit.
a woman who is not just prevailing over the men in the movies. Like there's got to be some type of
It's just realistic.
yes, it's realistic that she's gonna get hit, she's gonna get knocked down in a fight. Like yes, women can kick men's asses, but she's gonna get hit too, and I think that shows realism to it, and I love that they did that. So I really like this scene, and she does come out on top, and she saves her dog, and this is where the predator. No.
She also
one of the
comes
guys,
across.
yes.
The only guy that talked to her when she was a prisoner in the camp, there was a guy that knows
He was like the translator.
He's the translator.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's laying there with his leg gone because the predator has like this little like barbed wire thing that chops limbs off almost. So that had been used on him, and he's laying there without a leg, and he's basically like, "Hey,
Help me out."
can you heal me?"
Yeah, he sees
Like-
her healing herself
Yeah,
from the
it-
wound she got fighting
Yeah.
the French dudes.
Yeah,
and,
and
yeah.
so he's just like, "Hey, can you please heal me? I'll teach you how to fucking use this gun." Because
Yes.
like he cocks a gun and she gives this look like, "What the fuck? What is this?" Like, you know.
Yeah, and then he turns it around like,
and
no, you can.
he's like, "I'll teach you how to fucking use this gun. Just help me survive." You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So you get that. That's when she kind of learns how to cock the pistol and how that all works. He doesn't make it.
No, he
And she learns the heat trick.
Oh, from the flower.
Yes.
She has this medicinal flower that she
The
has from
orange
her mom.
flower,
Her
yeah.
like
mom's
slows
like
your blood down.
her
and
mom
cools your
seems to
body
be like
down.
the village like herbalist
Witch
or something.
doctor.
'cause
Yeah,
she-
Nah,
she's,
witch- not a
the,
witch
she's
doctor,
the
but a
medicine.
herbalist.
she's like the
yeah.
she's like the medicine woman, like because she's creating all these
She's in there grinding
herbs
everything up
for people's
and-
injuries and shit in the beginning of the movie. So you're like, oh, this is what she does, and they make a point to keep talking about this orange flower that's like her mom's like secret sauce. It seems like,
Yeah.
like that's
her
the
secret.
you know,
sauce.
it's like
Yeah.
her
It's
her,
gonna make your blood go
her
cold.
plan,
and all
like,
that
that's
stuff.
totally what it is.
It is. It's like she's just like, oh, the orange flower. Go get some orange flower.
Dude, it's like NyQuil for us.
So yeah, and so anytime
Totally.
they like give it, the people start kind of freaking out and they go calm, and the one tribe's worried, and right away, Naru's like, nah, dude, it makes your blood cold. It just slows everything down. So it just puts them in like this state of, just puts their body, chills their body out. Like, apparently.
So you don't. I think at the point they were making at the beginning was it also slows it down so he's not going to bleed out.
Yeah, that's
Like, it
what I'm
helps
saying.
him,
Yeah,
yeah,
it
it's gonna
just
help you
like
clot.
slows everything
Yeah.
down and just like is their ultimate painkiller kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
And that's when she realizes that like, oh, this predator is like heat, which is a little weird how that comes off because it goes from her just thinking like, oh, he doesn't kill things that are maimed kind of thing to like, oh, he can't pick up heat signatures. It's a little bit like, how the fuck they even know about heat signatures and all that?
How I took that she realized that is because when she gives it to that dude, he's laying there and she could see that he's laying there and she's like, what the fuck is, why isn't he attacking
Yeah,
him?
but my thing was
And he
like,
knows, I just gave him that thing to make him cold.
she would have thought that it's because he was missing his leg and he's maimed. Because the scene before that is when she was like, hey, if we're not apex predators, he's not going to come after us. He wants the top of the top. So that's...
but maybe because he was part of that initial like French fight and he sees that his weapon had already been the thing to wound him, maybe he was like finishing the job, so to speak. I don't know.
That's fine, but the problem is that how did Naru know that?
That's what I'm saying. Naru and body temperature.
The body temperature thing.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Again, it's,
if he had his leg, then it would have been fine. Then she would have understood. Oh my gosh, it's body heat.
Because I think it's because he thought he was dead.
No, I'm saying
but
no.
Naru
The issue in this is how is Naru coming up with this conclusion in the 1700s? It's your body heat. That's getting him to sidetrack. Because the last thing she made the point of was, hey, we're tied to a tree. He only comes after things that are able-bodied. So if she sees this dude dying with a leg out and he passes it up, my thinking was her conclusion would be, oh, he's hurt, he's maimed.
Yes.
That's why he passed him out. So the fact she was just like, oh, it's the cooling flower.
Yes, I'm gonna take.
I'm cool with it because it's a way to get us the mud.
It wouldn't give us
another mud.
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
You know, it's like,
but it wouldn't give us that cool scene where the fucker walked right past her.
Yeah,
because that was a badass scene.
No, it all was cool.
That was the only thing they needed to get that.
Again, like this is the only thing where I was like, okay, primitive times and all this. Like, how the fuck did she jump to the conclusion of like, oh, he can't pick up heat signatures?
Yeah.
But again, the fact they had the secret sauce cooling flower. They got rid of the heat signatures. Totally fine with it. Yeah. This is just me nitpicking because there actually wasn't a lot to nitpick in this movie.
There's not. It's straightforward.
It's pretty straightforward of how everything plays out.
That's a good call out though. I didn't pay attention to that. So maybe when we watch the English version one day we'll fucking
correct. Like we'll maybe they do talk about it a little more or we miss something. But yeah.
This scene does lead up to the fact that is where Naru's brother comes in and he fucks up the Predator, man.
Dude, he's a fucking badass on that horse. He is. He like does
this. That's why he became the chief.
He does this like Native American call, like your classic. Like we're not going to try to redo it because it's going to sound very disrespectful. Yeah. But like when an actual tribesman is doing it, it sounds badass as fuck. And he just takes the Predator's own weapon and just throws it through its fucking chest. Like he just stabs the fuck out of it. Like not glances him. Like straight up gets him from the back through the chest. Like. And just keeps riding and is just screaming at him the whole time. Like,
and I would have been I actually would have been cool with like if her and her brother would have just taken him out right here.
Yeah.
I'd have been cool with that.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been terrible. I mean,
I wouldn't have been upset because I mean he went through a lot of their fucking tribe. If it
he tore through.
If it would have been the brother and sister that come out on top in the end, I'd have been like, okay, I'm cool with that. Yeah.
But it also did not hurt to see him die.
No, it did. It did give that
fine with him dying. Yeah. Like because then eventually he gets smoked. He doesn't.
He does. Yeah. He fucks a Predator up and then the Predator
like disappears, which is our usher bugaboo because like it's just like they're very good at like acting like his camo and showing how his camo showing him how he heals things and all of that. And then it's like he gets stabbed through the chest and all of a sudden he turns like camo mode and it's like you don't see any of the arrows or things sticking out of him. You don't see the blood.
His green blood,
that you'd be seeing. It's just like he just literally disappears for a second, and it's just one of those like, oh,
it was a bullshit moment.
That doesn't make sense compared to everything else we've been kind of seeing. Because when anything hits him, his shield kind of.
If we didn't have 5 movies that show us that that's not possible,
correct.
Okay.
Because how many Predator movies has he been invisible, but you see the green drip on him because he's hurt, and that's like, that's the chink in his shield is he's fucking finally
now he's
cut
visible.
Him, now you can see him.
Yes.
That just goes away when he throws.
You're telling me your cloaking technology got worse?
Yeah, in a sense. So it's again. We're nitpicking at this point, but that was a big moment where I was like, okay, because it's a pivotal moment where he disappears. Like it's like, oh, where did he go? And it's like.
That's the giveaway.
What are you talking about? Where's the neon green blood everywhere? That's where he went, dude. And you don't get that.
Yeah.
So
it was a little bit disappointing. It was a disappointing part of it.
Yeah, but like that just leads to the brother saying some inspirational shit, and then Invisible Predator hopping out behind him and fucking killing his ass too, which you knew was coming.
But then he gets one last jab so that Naru can get away. So.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, of course.
Like, cuts his leg or some shit like that. But
he stabs him in the thigh.
We do eventually get to the end of the movie, and there's Naru's fighting the fucking Predator, and she's doing some shit. And the way the Predator dies in this movie is that he essentially dies from his own heat sinking.
I actually did not like this.
I didn't like this either.
It's too,
maybe it's the same
like-
reason as mine. The reason why I don't like it is because he aims his arm to shoot these fucking arrows out, but in order for the arm thing to work, he needs his helmet's laser point.
It's like
And he
they're
doesn't
like
have
guided
his-
missiles.
Yeah.
And so when he has his thing on the target, they'll go to whatever it is. But if he doesn't have his helmet, he can still shoot them, but they still will end up at like their target kind of thing. So he has the initial shot, but if he misses, it's just going to wrap around and come back to
Wherever the lasers
the
point.
helmet, wherever the laser's pointed. So it's just kind of like, it's cool in how it works, but at the end it was kind of like, you had to use his tech to take him out. I wanted her to get him old school. Like, it should have been like primitive hunting is what fucking took out this dude, not his tech. B, it was like,
Because she was
it's
already
too
close with that method.
yeah, she's whooping his ass.
Yeah.
He's missing an arm. Like, he is fucked up. And it's also just like, I hate to say it because I sound like a snob, but it's like, it was such a perfect plan. Like, she had to have him fall
into that mud.
into the mud at the right exact place for those lasers, because it's not like she's holding the laser and is like, gotcha, fucker, and points it at him. Like, she has this thing set up on a log just chilling there, and he happens to fall in the place where he stands up and that laser's pointing directly at him. You know what I mean? It's just like, again, it's movie magic and big climactic, but it's like, it almost was like she couldn't have just set like a primitive trap and done that, or
No,
like
I
made
agree.
him sink in the mud and die. Like it just like, I don't know. It just felt like they were trying to be like really hard to have like a cool original thing. And
You know,
it's just
I didn't even-
it's cool.
I
but
didn't even
don't
think
know,
about that
man.
fact, and I'm glad you brought that up because like I said, he would have had to have fallen into the exact same place, and you'd have to buy the fact that my problem was that I was
But
like,
that was part of her plan. She was,
was
leading
like-
him, you know.
I understand
No,
that
yeah,
too,
yeah.
but
my problem before you even brought that up, which is now my problem as well, was the fact that this motherfucker doesn't know how his helmet works.
That's
like
the thing, too, is-
there's no way he was sitting there like, okay, I'm gonna aim this,
'Cause
and
he
if it
does-
misses her, where the fuck is my helmet at? It's gonna shoot something.
That's the thing that I don't understand either, because it's clearly something he's comfortable doing. Because like when he's fighting the dudes in his helmet, how she figures out how the helmet works. He's fighting all the tribemen or the French guys, and his helmet gets it's the tribe people because his helmet gets ripped off, and he gets mad and he starts fucking blind, just firing this thing. And she sees it like start to bounce and like reach back. So it's a thing where he like does shoot this thing. But again, like I don't know. I don't know.
But then
I don't
again,
know, man.
here's where it's made up for is that we had mentioned earlier that this is his trial. This is not his.
Yeah,
he's
correct.
not a professional.
Again, so you could
he's gonna
play
fuck
he's
up.
making rookie mistakes. This is
Yeah.
primitive tech, and they don't know. You know, this is why they probably switched to laser beams instead of tracking metal
right.
arrows. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
why they attach the fucking gun to their shoulders.
Correct. It's like it's all prehistoric thing. Like this is putting a
This is their
caveman predator
their learning
versus
curve.
a caveman human. You know what I mean?
trial run. It's
we
fine.
weren't the smartest back. You know, everything progresses. It's just kind of like all right, this is kind of ridiculous. Like it's a crazy. Like we could have just had her fucking take her little fucking axe on a string and just fucking like
Jab his neck. Fuck it.
do a badass fucking through the forehead type thing. But
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It seemed a little bougie in a way.
Yeah. I agree.
But it's cool in a way at the same time.
Yeah,
so,
this fucking movie's action packed. There's cool shit. There's gore. It's gory.
it's tons of
so
gore,
I mean,
yeah.
it's cool. But there were some things that we just didn't agree with.
Yeah.
Do you know? Did you catch anything about that gun?
I couldn't read what it says, but I figured it was gonna say something. It was gonna hint to the French and Indian War coming on.
Well, no. This is. It's been so long since I've seen Predator 2. So at the end of Predator 2, the Predators come out and they give Danny Glover a gun. This is the gun.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The problem is that at the end of this movie, Naru gives it to the Chief, which means that between this movie and Predator 2, the Predators get that gun back. Why that gun is important, I don't know. We'll have to look this.
Okay.
We'll have to look the scene.
It's been way too long since I've seen Predator 2 because I did not like Predator 2.
No, Predator 2 is trash, but maybe I got to rewatch
now
it.
Now I will
It's been at
rewatch
least
it.
15, 20 years since I've seen.
I rewatched Predator 1 and it's a movie. For sure it's a movie, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the fuck out
absolutely.
of it. So I'll go watch Predator 2 just for that to see what that's all about.
Yeah, it's the
I
same
thought for
fucking
sure
gun.
it was just a hint at something of like the Trail of Tears or some bullshit like that. And I was like, oh, because that was right at the point where she was like, hey, there's a bigger threat coming, by the way. And it was that whole idea of like, if you know the dates in history, you know the French and Indian War is about to happen. And this is just the start of this bullshit. And colonialism and all that fucking shit's coming around the corner. The plagues. But no, that's a great thing
This
that
is
I will
why
have
nobody
to look
speaks
up.
Comanche.
But
I
again,
feel like I'll
I mean,
probably look it up tomorrow.
But that's a lot of. I was actually low key just mad that they didn't put in the hunter symbol. Like that's the one thing they introduced in AVP in
Hunter
Predator.
symbol. Oh, okay.
It's this thing. I always draw it. It's like a T.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I always thought it was cool, but like that's what they always mark. They mark the chick on the cheek with the acid and she kills it
that's
at
right.
the end. Like they always either
To prove
hand
that it was-
tech down
yeah.
because they respect other hunting cultures. Like usually the main one doesn't. The one that gets killed is mad because it's trying to kill the alpha. But then the big dick predators will come down, the grandfather predators, and they're always like, here's some alien tech because you killed our main guy. So it's a weird kind of
Respect.
Odd respect.
yeah, and it's just a weird kind of lore thing that they dive into but don't dive into. They
Yeah.
definitely don't dive into this movie. But that's very interesting and I want to see I have to see
I want to
that
say
now,
it's in.
'cause that
I
doesn't
want to
make
say it's
sense
in the
at
last
all.
5 minutes of Predator 2.
But again, like, why is this in this movie? It's cool, I guess, but then why the fuck is it in, like, who's like, I want to see the original Predator 2 reviews
I hope
to be like, hey,
I'm not
what the
wrong.
que-
I
yeah,
hope I'm not
I don't know.
wrong.
We'll
but
see.
I'm pretty sure they give Danny Glover this gun.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's been a
I'm
long
gonna look
time.
that up. Predator 2, I'm writing it down. But yeah, they hang on the gun long enough where it's supposed to be something.
Yes.
1,000%.
And that's why-
and there's something etched in it for sure as well. Like
It says something 1719, I think. Because when does this takes place 1719? So I think it says 1715 on there.
Okay.
Is when the gun was made.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't. I thought maybe it was gonna be like maybe some famous like French conquistador, like from actual history, you know, like a John Smith, so to say.
Yeah.
Written on there that like you'd be like, oh, that's the asshole that
is-
led the fucking.
It does say online that a
It's the gun?
close-up shot reveals that it's the same weapon seen at the end of Predator 2.
Yeah, see that
Yeah.
that makes no
Wow.
sense, but I gotta go watch that.
So
now,
how the
'cause
fuck
what
do they?
the fuck
So
does that
somewhere
mean?
between this movie and that movie, they get the fucking gun back. But
Well, that's
why
the
did they
thing.
take? Why did they take that gun from the Comanche tribe?
And this is the thing is I think it's always meant to be like the Predator. It's not like even in the
I mean,
Predator
it says
movie,
it's just
Predator
a nod,
1.
so I don't know.
It's not supposed to be like this is the first time a predator's ever been here. Like these things
Yeah, yeah,
come
yeah.
and hunt and do their thing and leave. Like they're
or
not
maybe,
like
or maybe they're like, you know what? This killed one of ours, so we need to take this fucking. We need to take this weapon because this weapon, although it's primitive to us,
Yeah, but
it can kill
and
us.
it makes total sense to put that in Prey and it all works out. But like, what the fuck? How did that happen in Predator 2? It's not like they were planning all this back then. You know what I mean?
Well, that's
So,
why
like,
right now online it says
what
it's
the
just a
fuck?
nod. So I think
Yeah.
maybe it's just supposed to be like an Easter egg
But
thing.
yeah, why?
Because it makes sense. Because they realized in the because for years people have been like, why the fuck did that dude in the 80s in New York get a flintlock pistol from the fucking Predator people?
Yeah.
And then this guy was like, hey, you know your like weird flintlock issue? I can fix all that.
I
got the
you.
perfect movie for that, actually. I don't know. It's a weird choice, but good for them, I guess. I don't know. Again, I guess Predator's so ridiculous anyways. Get in your little like Easter eggs where you can
Yeah,
and shit. That's why I was
absolutely.
hoping for a little T. I was like, give me one of my AVP
Yeah,
Predator markings,
true.
you know? Never got it, but we got a pistol that is in the last 5 minutes of...
I'm glad we didn't get anything
Predator
with
2.
Dutch. Like, I'm glad we didn't get
Yeah,
any
we
kind
don't
of
need
throwbacks.
that.
Like, it's
And
not necessary.
Like I said,
300 years?
they
It's a long
kind of
fucking time.
tease... They get her covered in mud very early in this movie,
Yeah.
and it's like...
All
oh,
three of us were
fuck.
like,
It's just like, I was like, I would have been cool if they explained how, like, for some reason hunting or whatever they discovered this, but it's just like she falls in a mud pit and she's in mud and you're like, oh no. And then the next scene she's clean and it's like, oh thank God.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah,
getting away
they
the
never
mud
go-
bullshit.
they never go to
no,
it.
we
Yeah,
get
it
a
was
special
wonderful.
flower instead. I'm fine with it because
Yep.
I've seen 7 movies where they have to just cover themselves in mud. And it worked the
Yeah.
first 4 times, but
we don't need it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like blowing up the Death Star at this point. I'm over it.
That's all my notes I have for this movie. That's all
Yeah.
the talking points that I had, and I think we nailed a lot of them.
It's like I said, there's not a lot of things you could like. We've talked a lot of out of order, but there's nothing like
no.
that really matters. It's a story about an apex predator hunting a human, and it plays like it's not supposed to be anything different.
You're going to see a predator movie. Yeah. I mean, it's in the
1700s too, so it's not like, you know, we're not even getting miniguns in the jungle and shit. Like you're down to bow and arrows, bro. Like the coolest tech that the Native Americans have is she ties a rope to her axe, so she has like a scorpion.
She fucking makes that rope herself.
You know what,
man?
I will say this is the problem with that scene though. She showed that she could not hit a rabbit to save her life throwing this axe before she had her little thing, and then all of a sudden, she just finds the rope and goes, you know what? I'm gonna fucking tie it to this axe to give me a little pullback drawstring kind of thing.
She can get it back faster. Yeah.
She becomes a master of this thing in 35 seconds. In the next scene, she has 100 rabbits strapped to her back like she's been hunting all day.
Okay, that's why you giggled. I heard you giggle.
Yeah, and I giggled just because again, like it's cool. We want to do the fast cuts of like this is her weapon of choice and all that. But I was like, talk about it like it's not like someone in the tribe was using this weapon and she saw it at any point or they teased it. It's like literally she was sitting there and had this rope down and was like, I can't hit a rabbit with that. Let me try this. And I was just like, well, how the hell did that just make you the best hunter? Like, you found your weapon of choice?
I mean, in her defense, she was already getting good at the axe, and maybe she's like,
No,
if my arm was just a little longer.
Yeah, I don't, again,
Let's make some rope.
But that's why I laughed, because the next scene she had, like, she went from not being able to hit a single rabbit.
Yeah.
She has literally
I mean, if she came back with...
back full of rabbits, and you're
and
like...
I think she had, like, a hawk or some shit, too.
What the fuck happened there? Like, that was quick of you becoming the
It would have been more believable. It would have been more believable to have, like, one.
Correct. It's like you're right, like
training montage.
The training montages are corny, but when you get 5 minutes of it, you're like, God, this dude's really training a lot. This was a 30-second of her trying out a thing, and then the next scene, she was ultimate animal hunter. I was like, okay, this is where we're at. I will say, every time her brother and everyone came back from camp, they were always covered in like blood of the beast, which is cool. And at the end of the movie, she came back with the predator's head in her hand, like everybody else, and she has just what we see on the movie cover.
The poster, yeah.
She has the neon.
That was my last note. I deleted it before I said it. Yeah.
Just like all over her face. Like again, you think it's like war paint, but you realize like, oh, these guys aren't putting on war paint. Like this is blood from the thick of battle. Just like they wipe it out of their eyes, and it's just over their face, and like that's what she's just got. Her black makeup like smeared in with all this alien blood, like walking to the tribe, throwing an alien head on the ground, like. Yeah, we got bigger problems, bro. By the way, the French are here too.
That's what I really liked about the poster now is that I liked the poster before just because the colors just pop so well. But this is a poster that's made with a scene from the movie.
Yeah.
This wasn't made because it just looked fucking cool.
Yeah, no.
This was made because this happens in the movie.
With, like what goes on in the movie.
It was badass.
Yeah, it's cool.
So was this movie what you expected?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean... I will be honest, I don't think it was as good as I was thinking it was going to be. Yeah. I was expecting it to be a little better, but I think it's just the last couple of days and the hype of everybody has gotten me a little bit more pumped. But it didn't fail expectations.
No, absolutely not.
This is when I go to see Godzilla, I know what I'm going for. Mm-hmm. And when I went to see this, I knew exactly what I was going in for, and it delivered.
Yeah, it was under my expectations, but only because like when you walked into my house today, like I said, I had low expectations, and now everything I've heard today of just the reviews were just like, oh my gosh, it's fucking awesome.
This
it's
is the thing that like high school,
fuck me, man. I got too excited. It's my own expectations. Are gonna fuck
with this movie. Like this is something I see when I'm like 14, and I'm like, dude, Prey's awesome. Like this is just like Alien versus Predator when I was 14 or whatever, whenever the fuck that came out. You know, like it's the same vibes where it's like probably not the best movie if you go watch AVP. No. But when you're that young and, like, just looking for fucking gory, cool fucking fighting things, this is that movie. Like, 100%. Yeah.
So then, would you tell somebody, if they were a newcomer to the Predator series, never seen it, would you tell them, hey, watch this one, or are you going to tell them, hey, watch 1987
I don't
first?
think you need to. I mean, it's one of those things where, like, what did anyone tell you about Predator the first time you watched the real Predator? It's like, hey, you're going to watch Predator movie. It's about
I think it was just on TV. And
you know what? But that's what I'm saying. But it's like, if someone was to pitch you that, it's the same thing as pitching this, where it's like...
I think I would tell somebody to watch this movie first.
Yeah, I mean...
And then watch 1987.
Well, I think if you've never seen Predator before and you sit down for the first time to watch Predator... You're going to be like, what the fuck is this movie? I don't think it's one of those where you watch it and you're like, oh, this is still like, you gotta have to have seen it and grown up on it to like really, I think, fuck with that.
Well,
movie,
I think
it's so ridiculous.
I think it tiptoes on that meter of like, if you're gonna tell somebody who's never watched Star Wars, where are you starting them? Are you starting them from episode 1, or are you starting them from 4 like you did when we were kids? And this is one of those situations of, I'm gonna tell them to start with Prey and then move on to Predator 1987. Is my opinion.
Yeah, I think either way you're okay. But I mean,
that's the route I would go. Did you have a favorite scene at all?
I think when the Predator got a hold of them Frenchmen. In the
that
case,
whole fuck up?
like I mean, he fucked the fucking Comanche tribe up pretty good too. But like that was more like stealthily scary. Like her friends are dying.
Yeah.
Like it was the French was like, okay, these are the bad guys we've been watching for the last 10 minutes. Like let's watch them all fucking die because they're ignorant, and he's just gonna pull out all the toys.
Yeah.
And like all that.
That net really got you. Huh?
Oh, the net was. I mean, it's just like the idea of.
It was
how
badass.
They showed it of like you knew it was constricting because you saw it in his face and started to cut into him, and then they panned the camera down just to the tree stump and showed the tree stump starting to get crushed. So you were like, "What the fuck's it doing to the guy?" You know what I mean? Like that's that type of shit where I'm like, "Dude, that's awesome." And then he had this little mind thing. He was using he was pulling. That's when I think they revealed his face finally for the first time too, where you saw his mask. Which I'm a big Predator mask guy. I think that's the best. Probably a lot of people agree, but like. That's my favorite part of him is all the different masks.
I think this will make a cool figure. Like if somebody, if somebody collects figures, this would be pretty
people
cool.
Are gonna cosplay. Couples will cosplay the Predator and Naru 100% at the upcoming.
I can see that. That'd be pretty
1,000%. There will be a lot of like.
I like it.
Like that Native American garb with like the neon paint, and then there'll be some fucking big boyfriend in a Predator suit because there's already 1 million of those guys walking around.
Yeah.
People love dressing up as Predator.
Favorite scene?
A weird one, but I actually liked when her brother sent them out to find her, and she started arguing with that one guy, and like
got in a fight with the tribe guy.
And like, cause I mean, it's just realistic that he'd be like, "No, you're coming with me, woman," and started whooping her ass. But the fact that she turned around and like fought back instead of being like, no, like that was a good fight. Like she fucking bit his arm and shit. Like she
didn't get her ass handed to her until the fucking other dude was punched her or turned her around.
Low
and punched
key,
her
that was an awesome fucking way of like it's super dirty. But
it's
that
so
was
dirty. He fucking cold
awesome how they did that. Like he was like she walks in and thinking it's all over, and he just like kind of gave her just a gentle shove to go the other way, and when she turns around, she just gets fucking clocked.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh, what a like crazy tandem like. These dudes have done this before.
Yeah.
Like, dude, that was so smooth of like a fucking cheap shot. It was awesome. But again, she whoops his ass. She does. She's
and
not
that whole scene was good. And then obviously they get theirs.
Yeah.
Because I mean, realistically, they're doing their job. Their chief said, "Hey, go get my sister."
Yeah, no.
If they come back without the sister, they're gonna be in a world of shit.
Yeah, and they're not doing anything crazy either. Like right away, they're like, once they get her, stop fighting. Like this dude, literally, she took a chunk out of this dude's arm and bit him, and he right away is just like, dude, sit her down and get some fucking water. And he doesn't, and he even leaves someone with her. He's like, make sure you go with her. Or
when other people would have just like fucking killed her.
You thought either that they were gonna kill her, like whatever. He was clearly being like, okay, I know she's upset, but she's the chief's sister. She's this hardhead, like, and they've already had friction. They were the first ones, like when she first tags along. He's the one that's like, what the fuck is she doing here? Oh, well, she can come by to heal us. Like he's that guy anyways. Looks like Rufio from fucking Hook.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a nice fight scene. It's cool. It's like an intimate, like them rolling on the ground, throwing elbows and knees and shit, because they're not trying to necessarily kill each other, but they're just trying.
It was just a good, realistic fight.
It did. They were just rolling on the ground, like throwing hands.
So my favorite scene was, I think, everything that happened with the bear scene.
The bears.
So when she's like up on the hill watching the bear,
some of the animals looked really bad CGI.
It did.
I think the bear looked okay.
The bear was better,
right.
but I still was like,
There's nothing though. Like you said you haven't seen it. You want to see. I will never look at bears the same after The Revenant.
Okay.
There's not an animal that would scare me more than a bear now. 1,000%. Like I'll take a lion over a bear any day of the week. It's just
fucking
the way they show.
I don't know, those lion teeth are fucking
dude. The way they show it in The
but
Revenant
they sleep like
of
20
like
hours
what a fucking bear will do to a human. Like, even though you know what lions and all these things will do to you, when you just see what a bear does, even though it's a fake bear, it's like anytime I see a bear as a bad thing in a movie, it's like, that is so scary. Because I've seen what happens to Leo when that bear gets a hold of you, bro. And it's just like, dude, no. Like,
Yeah, they're scary.
Yeah, it's very scary. But it's cool. It's a cool moment of, like, apex North American predator, arguably. Like,
yeah.
Easily probably the biggest predators that we have here in North America.
No one's going to go fuck with a bear.
That's what I'm saying. And it's a big-ass brown bear, too.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I like
cool
when the
though.
bear
I like
I like when the bear picks up her scent or picks up the dog scent, either one of them, and then the dog fucking runs and
Yeah,
tries
the
to
wind just
avert it, and
blows.
you're like, damn, like that dog's gonna take one for the team.
Well, it's
right
also
now.
the
And it's
bears
like,
are
this is
scary
really
too because
cool.
it's like she dives underwater and you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
We all know bears can swim better
Yup.
than you, bitch. Like, what are you doing? And then she gets in like a beaver dam. She protects her. It's like, okay, she's smart, but at the same time, it's like, you can't climb a tree. You can't swim. If a bear's coming after you, what are you doing? What are you going to do? You have no answer. You hope an alien comes in and interjects.
You put your hands up in the air and you scream back
Yeah,
at it.
that's
We've
what they
already had
always
this
say.
conversation, dude.
Oh, my God. If you have the balls to do that when a bear's coming
It's
at
either
you.
do nothing or fucking yell at it.
No, I think, like, even though I know I wouldn't run or, like, I know I'd die, like, I think you just hope you can outrun the bear, which isn't going to work. But,
No
like,
way. I
I don't
can't remember
think
what they clock out at.
in my mind, I'd be like, okay, well, now I'm going to just stand and yell at this bear. I think it'd be like, I don't know. I don't know. I'd never want to be caught in that situation. I don't want to worry about that.
I don't want you to ever be caught in that situation either. Do you consider this a middle tier movie, a bottom tier, or top tier?
It's good for a Predator movie. Like, I think it's better than the Predator movies that have come out recently.
So middle tier?
Yeah, but, like, it's not, like, I don't want to say it's, like, a good movie, because it wasn't that great of a movie.
No, it's not as good as the first one.
No. But again, I think that's one of those, that's like lightning in a bottle, where, like, you can't make the first one today. You remake the first one today, you're like,
Yeah, no, you
the
can't.
fuck is this? Like, again, they have a close-up shot of the dude's black arm, white arm, as much muscles as you can fit in one frame, handshake, like, supercut. It's like, what are we doing here in this movie? But it works.
Super oily skin, too, when it happens. Super sweaty.
Again, this is why men have problems and complexes today, is because these guys grew up on movies like this that is just like testosterone as much as you can in every fucking scene, dude. Like, this is what men are. Like, It's insane that that movie just oozes it, dude.
So I had said in my spoiler-free review that it's not the second best either. I wasn't planning on doing any kind of first, second, third.
My favorite movie, Predator movie, is Alien vs. Predator, AVP.
As like your number one?
Yeah.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
okay.
Because I was the right age, so, like, the quality of it didn't bother me. Because I was, like, probably 13. When did that come out? Probably, like, 13 or 14.
Alien vs. Predator.
And so that time was right, and it was just the ultimate, like, it was a multiverse in a way of, like, they're bringing in the alien, which I never really liked Alien anyways, and I always liked Predator. So I was
2004. So we were 12.
yeah, exactly. Wow. Yeah, so right around there. And so it's like, like, it just, something about, like, these aliens hunting other aliens and humans just caught in this Aztec pyramid, like, that's when they really explain the lore of the Predators too, and go into, like, these guys are hunters that travel around and have these trials. Like, I loved Alien vs. Predator.
Okay.
And then Predator 1 would probably be my thing.
So
The new ones I don't really like at all.
So you probably put this one third then?
Yeah,
If
probably.
after?
Yeah. Because Predator 2 I definitely don't like. I'm on record for, and I don't think I people like Predator 2.
I want to rewatch
I want to say
We're
that's
definitely
it's
gonna- yeah.
Concrete Jungle, right? It's something like that. It's like Predator 2. It's Concrete something.
Not sure.
Unless that's the third. Whatever that one is, that's when Predator started. It was like this. I don't know what's going on here.
I think it's just called Predator 2.
Yeah, it is just Predator 2.
I would go Predator 1, 1987 is my number one. My number 2 is going to be Predators, the one with
2010.
Adrian Brody. Yeah, 2010, Adrian Brody. I really like the element of, hey, these predators are bringing humans from, I mean, it could be other planets. It doesn't even have to be Earth, but they're bringing them to this other planet just so they could hunt them.
Yeah,
like it's
world's dangerous game.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool, and I really liked that. I didn't care for Topher Grace; he's the worst part of the movie, but
Yeah.
but I know I liked it. I really enjoyed Adrian Brody in it, as well as Lawrence Fishburne. I really liked him in the movie. And then I'd put Prey as my third movie.
Yeah, Prey was good. It was
Yeah.
up there.
It's a good prequel.
A fun Predator fact most people know, but I'm gonna get it out before I forget. Jean-Claude Van Damme was supposed to be Predator.
Was supposed to be the Predator?
Yeah. Oh, you didn't know this?
I
I
had
thought
no
for sure you
idea.
didn't know this.
I thought you were saying he was supposed to be Dutch.
They
I was like,
market it like, no, it was supposed to be like him versus Schwarzenegger. So he was like, yeah, I'm in. I want
Okay.
this. And then he showed up and they were like, no, dude, you're going to be in a fucking alien suit. And he was like, what do you mean I'm going to be in a fucking suit? And they're like, you're the Predator, dude. And he thought he was going to just be like an alien guy, like
As
this
himself.
thing, but like you still see his face because he was trying to break into acting more and be, more of that
87,
thing,
yeah.
And they were like, no, dude, like you're this. And then he was pissed because you couldn't do a lot of the martial arts stuff in it because that's the big complaint of all of it was the suit was so bulky back then. And so, yeah, like right before they started filming, he was like, I fucking quit, dude. I'm not doing any of this. And he like
Wow,
almost
I had
fucked all
no
of them up.
idea.
Because like, and the thing is like, I want to say it's not like they tricked him either. They were pretty upfront with him like, hey, this
You're
is
gonna
how
wear
it's going to be. And it just, in his brain, he convinced himself that like, no,
It wasn't.
it's going to be fucking Jean-Claude Van Damme versus Arnold. And they were like, no, you're going in the goddamn suit, dude. And he was like, nah, I'm out.
Oh, that's cool.
And then they got the behemoth that they got. I can't think of his, it's Kevin something I want to say. He's not like a famous actor, I don't think. But he played, I think, the first 2 or first 3 Predators. Like,
Okay.
he made a career out of being like the big movie guy. 'Cause he's huge. I mean, you got to be as big as Arnold almost, So yeah, a little fun fact. But yeah,
Nice.
Jean-Claude Van Damme almost fucked that whole movie up because he was like, "No, I'm not. I'm not
wearing a
I'm not
suit."
getting in that suit." So figure it out.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Cool. That was our Prey, guys. If you guys liked the movie, let us know. If you guys didn't like the movie, let us know. We're going to get into our read, play, watch. I'm going to start us off with our read. So, read, they just ended this new series, and it's called Batman One Dark Knight. And it was only 3 issues. I'm going to pass these over to you. 3 issues, and
pretty cool.
there's this character, and his name is EMP, and they got to transfer him from Blackgate over to Arkham Asylum, I believe. And all these people want. What's that?
This looks like Joker art, like Liber Emo.
It's not Liber Miho.
But it looks like
But
it.
yeah, it's got really cool art to it.
Yeah.
But they got to transfer this inmate, and everybody in the town wants him dead. So it kind of goes into like I think it's the movie's 13 Blocks with Bruce Willis. Where they
Yeah,
gotta
or
get
like Midnight Pursuit or Midnight.
something like that. Yeah. So
It's an old
it
movie.
plays
Great
around
movie,
with
though.
it. Kind of plays around with that type of idea. But Batman has to defend this guy, and there's certain situations because the EMP takes out all the fucking
cool.
electricity, so it's dark at night. So that's why it's called One Dark Night. And Batman's got to protect this guy, and it's a really cool storyline. It's only 3 issues. I hate that they oversized the book, so you can't even fit them into the book and board.
It's kind of weird.
But they so I just put them on my bookshelf.
I would buy the graphic novel of this for sure.
Yes, I was gonna say
Yeah,
I would assume
like as
that
a
because it's only
collection.
3 issues.
Yeah.
It's gonna be something that's coming out pretty soon.
That's cool.
And then I got this for you. This is Gambit issue 1.
Oh,
This is the brand new.
the new run that they're
This is
doing.
the new run
I
that they're
forgot
doing.
that this was starting up.
Yeah, so that's Gambit issue 1.
Oh, dude, I'm literally gonna like frame this on my wall.
There's
Oh, for
quite a
sure.
few variants of it, and I looked for what I thought was the coolest one, with which one I thought that you would like the most, and that one centers on him the best. So,
No, this is awesome. Thank you.
so
dude.
yeah, no problem.
I've been excited for this. I should be a good Gambit fan and get all the single issues, but I think I'll probably end up just waiting for the
I would.
book.
Yeah.
Especially because like as much of a Gambit dude's like his individual runs, there's been a couple really good ones, and then there's been ones that
Meh.
are kind of
Yeah.
it's just sometimes they don't hit his storyline right. It depends
Yeah.
on what he's dealing with, in my opinion. Even though, again, favorite character of all time. I've been excited for this because I knew that for a while they've been working on
Yeah.
a Gambit release. So thank you, dude.
No problem.
This is awesome. This is issue 1.
Yes.
Very happy.
And that's why I got. I was like, even if he gets the book later on, at least he has.
Correct. The first
Issue
issue,
one,
that's
the
the
first
one that
issue,
matters.
so-
Correct.
So
Matty was
No,
like,
that's
"Do you think?"
awesome.
I'm like, "Dude, his name's fucking Gambit the Goon on everything." I'm like, "Of course he's gonna."
I have Gambit.
well, I knew you'd like it, but I was like,
No,
I'm
it's
like, "Do
awesome.
it."
yeah,
This is awesome. Thank you so much.
no problem.
That's cool.
But that was my read. Was
I have a read as well. I have not started reading it yet, but I finally picked it up. I got TMNT Ronin.
ooh, nice.
Did you? You haven't read it?
I haven't
right?
read it. No.
So a little bit about it. I haven't read it. I looked at the art, and the art is like, it's right up my alley. Of like, I like two specific styles of comic book art, basically, and they're pretty polar opposite of each other. But it's just how I roll, and this is how I like my like dark, mature content.
Yeah, it seems that way.
And with the story, basically the story's about Mikey is the last remaining turtle.
The
brothers have been killed. I don't know how. I haven't read any of this. I will report back as far as like not a spoiler review, but just I'm liking it, not liking it kind of thing. But it's supposed to be like kind of like the Joker, or like, it's supposed to be a serious TMNT, like Mikey's now taking on the mantle of like the Soul Turtles, but it's badass because he's
Mikey's not a Joker anymore. He's not joking and
playing. No, his whole heart's been ripped out. Like he doesn't wear colors. He wears a black bandana now, and he has all of their weapons, which is just like badass.
Yeah.
So he's just like, and he's just not. He's hurt.
I'm stoked to hear this.
So yeah. So and I don't know if April's in it. I don't know Splinter. I don't know Casey. I don't know any of it. I just have flipped through a little bit to see some of the art, and it's a thick fucking book, and they just greenlit next run of it.
Oh, nice.
So it's obviously I know it's been getting good reviews.
I've heard great things about it.
The book itself just came out recently. As far as the
bigger book of it.
Yeah,
the volume,
whatever. I think So I've been looking for a while, and I haven't seen it, and then it just happened to be there when I was in the store the other day. It was a fucking beautiful hardcover. I was like, I gotta do it. I'm just gonna pull the trigger, dude.
Nice.
So I am excited because I think this is like a story I need right now. Just some good content. So I will keep you posted. But yeah, check it out, TMNT Ronin. If you look up any TMNT news in the comic world recently, it's a lot like all roads point to Ronin. This is like the main cool thing that's going on.
It's supposed to be. I've heard nothing but great things about it.
It's supposed to be a really good character kind of story for Mikey.
Yeah.
So that's my read.
Cool.
I will report back.
Wonderful. Play. Did you have any play?
I do have a play. It's called Hue. Interesting game, man. It's a little game. It's a small game that I'd imagine one or two people probably made.
What's this?
It's on. It might be on console, but PC is what I've been playing on. It's kind of like a platformer in a way of like you're just jumping on like different things to get to the next door to go to the level and all that. But basically the game starts black and white. And it's this, you can tell like the dialogue and all that's just like metaphors for life and colors and all this shit. Okay. It's kind of deep. It seems like it's a deep game. You know what I mean? But it's an easy game, but they're trying to make some commentary on some shit.
Okay.
But basically like the world's been kind of void of all these colors. It's all 2D animation. And then you find colors, and you develop colors for your color wheel. So once you unlock blue, you can turn on the blue color, and everything will turn blue. But once you unlock like a purple too, if you change the word to purple, now sometimes any objects that are purple now disappear because your background's purple. So it's like, to get through the door, a blue block could be blocking the way. You have to change the scenery to blue so that disappears so you can now get through there, and then you turn it back to purple and the landscape changes.
Okay.
And the blue objects there. It's a trippy fucking game that's like puzzles and just color, because it's just everything is mixed in with these bright colors and black and white, and then walls disappear when you use the right colors and all that. It's just like very, very interesting and super creative.
Are you a person?
You're like this little like
creature or person
cartoon person where again it's all 2D, so it's like everything's black and white, like I said, other than when these colors show up. It's a short game though. Like I played it for like an hour, maybe not even, and I am like 3/4 of the way through. Like I stopped it because I was like, I want to get another stream out of this because I can blow through this in one day. But it's like super cheap, super good reviews, so I think they may make more of them, because like I said, it seems like it's like a 1-2-person show right now. It's very small, but just kind of blew my mind as a game. I was like, this is trippy. This is some cool visual like puzzle gaming type stuff. So check it out, Hue.
It's not a new game, correct?
No, I think it's been out for a little bit.
It looks like it was released PC. Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4, Xbox One.
Oh, okay, so it is on consoles as well. All right, cool. Yeah, so it's definitely a game, like, it's probably cheap as fuck. It's something that's a change of pace and very
from
creative.
your regular,
it's very creative.
Bigger world
games.
Yes,
correct.
Okay, cool, nice.
Yeah. Nice little recommendation that I found that's kind of Fun and interesting, creative.
I like it. So for watch, I already told you because I texted you as soon as I got done seeing this movie. Sam and I went and saw this with our friends. We went and saw DC League of Super Pets.
Yeah.
And I gotta tell you guys, all you listeners, do not sit on this movie. Especially if you have kids, don't sit on this movie. This movie was fun. There's so much heart in these fucking characters. This is probably, and I told Tyler, I was like, this is the second best comic book movie that came out this year. And there hasn't been a lot of comic movies this year.
No,
like I looked at it, but
a good amount.
But yeah, there's a fair amount of movies, and this is the second best comic book movie that has come out this year. The characters are great. The animation is great. It's almost like seeing Batman and Superman, but as if somebody from Pixar animated them, because they have like that top heavy like Bob from The Incredibles.
That's how I felt when I saw Lego Batman. I know it's not like the same things, but it's like you see something in a totally different light, but they nail the character. You're like, this is awesome. Like totally different Batman, Will Arnett Lego Batman, but it's like, holy shit, this movie's just like a fucking hand job to all of the great Batman nods that
it really is.
Get. You know what I mean? It's just perfect. So like I was really hoping DC Super Pets would fall into that. So when you said like, hey, this is one of the best comic book movies I've seen, I was like, fuck yes. This is because we don't need, especially on DC, we don't need any. We have enough live action bad DC content going on. We don't need them to start fucking up the animated, which is pretty good.
DC animation. They nail that.
Because again, they have a different animator and a different head of that company that's been doing DC animation for years. So they have that figured out to a science. So I'm glad that the DC Super Pets is getting good reviews and that you guys really liked it.
Yeah, the girls loved it too.
I figured kids were going to love it. That wasn't one I was worried about. But like, I'm very happy that you guys really liked it because it seems like it could be a fun movie.
With everything going on with HBO Max right now, like, because I believe DC movies are supposed to come out like after it's been in theaters for 45 days or supposed to come out
like that.
So I have no idea what's going to be happening now, but I'm really excited for people to be able to see this movie because
I agree.
It was very enjoyable.
It's got a stellar cast too. Like so they went all out.
Lineup.
Like it's not supposed to be just some throwaway project for them.
No.
So
yeah,
that's awesome.
After that, we're gonna go and let you guys know what's going on in the next episode. Tyler, let them know what's going on, man.
August 22nd. We are going to do Signs.
Hell, yes. I'm so excited
for Matty's pick for August.
Yes.
Yeah, I love Signs. I know he loves Signs. Obviously, he picked it. So, I'm excited to get into it. And it's actually been a little bit since I've watched it.
I've watched this movie already this week.
Oh, I'm sure.
And that was just for my fucking my fun watch.
Yeah,
now my next watch is going to be all my notes.
So, yeah, I'm actually excited to kind of go back after not seeing it for a little bit. I mean, it hasn't been that long, but it's been a good amount of time where like it'll be nice to go through and kind of take some notes on it to see what still plays, what doesn't play, what I like and don't like.
So to talk about it with you.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good episode, and it's a movie that hopefully a lot of people have seen. So
this will be a movie. This will be one of the last Alien movies that we talk about for a while too.
Yeah, we have been on an Alien kick.
We did Independence Day, then we did Nope, and then we did Today's Prey. Yeah. So
and we didn't intend any of that.
No.
Even when Matt, it was just basically on our birthday months, we wanted to pick a movie that we each liked.
Yep.
And he was like, "Oh, let's do Signs. I like Signs. Perfect." And then all of a sudden, we ended up doing 4 other Alien movies. Yeah. But at the same time, Signs is still awesome.
Absolutely.
So fuck it.
Why not?
Yep. So August 22nd, you can catch that episode.
And then now Sam's gonna let you guys know.
Sam is our producer.
Yep. Sam's gonna let you guys know where else you could listen to us or find us at.
You guys can always find us on YouTube. Even if we don't post a video, our audio will always be up there for you to enjoy. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter. Our Facebook page is No Nerds Were Harmed, and Twitter is at NNWH Pod. If you want to follow any of us individually, you can go ahead and find our Twitters at Matty is the Matman22, Tyler is Gambit the Goon, and myself is Samwise1227. Feel free to give us some feedback on any platform, wherever you want to talk with us. Start some discussions and let us know what kind of episodes that you want to hear, episodes you liked, didn't like. We're open to all types of criticism. If you're already listening to us on something, thank you. Tell your friends they can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, anywhere. We can appreciate any form of listening.
That's all we got for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the episode. We had a good time recording it for you guys. So until next time, stay nerdy. I'm Matty.
I'm Tyler. Catch you in the next one.